underway at Carrow Road. Norwich City free scoring at this ground this year. Can they put another of the Championship strugglers to the sword, or is it going to be one of those frustrating afternoons and those surprise results that the Championship has a habit of providing? Norwich are in yellow and green. They're defending the Barclay end in the first half. Derby, white shirts, black shorts, black socks, and the Canaries being allowed possession inside their own half in the early part of the game. And Nunez is back involved. He's played the ball back to Angus Gunn. The Canaries in possession straight away. A battle there in the midfield, and it's been won by Derby. And here's Ibu Adams, who had a spell with Norwich City. Never made a first-team appearance, but has gone on to have a good career for Forest Green and Cardiff City, and now the Derby midfield. But it's back with the Derby defence now, and Phillips, and it comes to another one of their January signings, Langas, on the right-hand side. Plants it into the Norwich half, but Mendes-Lang gets there just ahead of Doyle, but Norwich have won it straight back. And here's Nunez in position, tackled though by Salverson, and Derby in possession on the right wing with Mendes-Lang. Great challenge from Nunez. Not only does he steal the ball, but he manages to control it beautifully. Dobbin tries to get away on the left-hand side. Was he checked there by Langas? Not according to the referee. And the ball's gone back to the Derby goalkeeper Zetterstrom, who launches it. Header clear by Duffy. Mendes-Lang on the right-hand side. And here's Thompson, the Derby right wing back. I think Simon Lappin in a moment on Derby's approach today, because Paul Warne, for all his strengths and a lovely bloke, he was never known for playing the most attractive football, and that earns him a few criticisms amongst Derby supporters. What do you expect? Do you expect them to be difficult to break down, Simon?
Yeah, I would imagine so. As you said, Paul Warne, quite pragmatic in his approach to the game and the way he sets his side up. But you can see right away that they're all energy, they're pressing, they're a hard-working side, and Norwich are going to have to move the ball really well, as they have done, as they've been doing all season, to try and break them down.
Marcondes finds some room on the left-hand side, dribbles forward, lays it into the penalty area. McLean's made a burst forward, crosses, it's rather dramatically punched away by the goalkeeper Zetterstrom, to good effect though. Perhaps could have caught it at his near post, but decided to get some distance on it. Norwich back on the ball on halfway, and it's noticeable that every Derby player has dropped back behind the ball to try and prove difficult to break down. You can almost throw a blanket over the Derby team at the moment. There's only about 15 yards really between the striker Salverson and the three centre-backs, and Norwich have got to try and knit a way through a very compact Derby team. 0-0, we've been playing for 2.5 minutes. Here's the Dobbin, who 2 seasons ago spent the campaign on loan at Derby in League One. Here's Doyle in the centre circle for Norwich City. Still got the entire Derby County team in front of him. Nunez thinks he can find a way through it by chipping one up towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed away, McLean's on the front foot, not for the first time in this game already. He's been tackled, and Norwich have a throw in well forward. How do Norwich approach this then, Simon?
I think we've got to be patient as well, Chris. Derby will come here, they've worked on it all week under Paul Warne. They're not going to change anything really on the Friday night and come up with something new. They're going to play the way they've worked on this all week. They're going to try and frustrate Norwich and drop deeper. And even within that, they'll try and go and press. They've got good energy, but Norwich have got to move the ball side to side to open them up. And at times they will be playing across our back line to try and draw them out for that longer pass, as we've just seen Nunez trying to play there. You see Kellen Fisher, as he does, he comes in and makes that extra body in midfield, and it allows Kenny McLean to, even we've seen just a moment ago, of joining in the attack and try and get higher up the pitch. You need forward runs to disrupt a really compact back line.
We talked about the sacking of Paul Warne, a Norfolk boy, the Derby County manager until yesterday. The visible presence on the side of the pitch is Matty Hamshaw, who's a former Sheffield Wednesday player, once scored an FA Cup goal against the Canaries for Sheffield Wednesday, but he's being assisted amongst others by Bradley Johnson. It's a bit of a village, isn't it, football? That there's always somebody you know in the opposition lineup.
It's incredible, and nothing surprises him in football. I texted him this morning, just to wish him all the best, but hopefully he leaves here empty-handed, but just to enjoy the experience. And I'm sure he'll be thinking the exact same thing. Nothing surprises you. He finds himself in the dugout at a place or a pitch he once graced.
You better watch yourself, Simon. Bradley Johnson was doing commentaries with us last season, and now he's down there on the bench, helping to manage a championship team.
I doubt I'll be down there anytime soon.
You can talk your way into it if you're not careful. 0-0, 4.5 minutes gone. I think the pattern of the game is set. Derby will attempt to be difficult to break down. These two sides had a real titanic tussle earlier on in the season. Borja Sainz got a hat-trick at Pride Park. It was a real blood and thunder game though. Norwich winning 3-2, one of only 4 away wins this season. But that follows recent form. In fact, the last 7 meetings between these two sides, there hasn't been a home win. Both sides have done better in this fixture away from home in recent times. So Norwich are looking to put that trend right today. Derby have gone back to goalkeeper Zetterstrom, Swedish international, who clears right-footed high towards the halfway line. Mahovo wins a looping header there. Nunez Heads it down towards Duffy, and here's Marcelino Nunez again in the Norwich midfield, who was in decent form before injury struck again. Winning goal at Luton on New Year's Day. Also scored here against Queen's Park Rangers as well, just after Christmas. And Norwich will be absolutely delighted to have him back in their team. Whether he'll play, well, he's not going to play the full 90, I wouldn't have thought, but how much they can get out of Nunez will be interesting with another game on Tuesday. He gives the ball to Duffy. Norwich have got players coming back after the injuries and the suspensions of earlier on in the season. Here's Mahovo on halfway, the 19-year-old who has emerged during this difficult spell for Norwich City as the first choice left back for the moment. Here's Fisher on the right-hand side, 0-0. Derby, again, very, very compact. Norwich being posed a puzzle here. Doyle tries to thread one in behind the fullback Thompson, but he reads it well and gets it back to goalkeeper Zetterstrom, who again launches it down the middle of the pitch. And there's a token effort from the striker Lars-Jørgen Salvesen to chase it, but there's really no point. That's gone through to Angus Gunn.
Yeah, I think as you said it, Chris, we're seeing the pattern of the game emerging here, that Norwich have been patient. So hard at times to break down, but it's not something new that Norwich have faced. They've faced us many occasions here, teams dropping off and making it hard for them.
Well, Sargent's just been bundled to the ground, bit of a clash with Nat Phillips, but the free kick has gone against the Norwich striker, which is one that's raised a few eyebrows. Ball back to the Derby goalkeeper again, Zetterstrom. There's no playing out from the back from Derby in this game. Every time it's gone back to the goalkeeper, he's absolutely put his foot through it down the middle of the pitch, hasn't he?
No risk at all.
Here's Mahovo, the Norwich left-back, who collects the ball from Gunn, plays it up towards Dobbin, inside his own half, really controls that one well, dribbles away from two Derby players, and then finds Kellen Fisher in a bit of space on the right-hand side. Fisher scampering over the halfway line, almost went so quickly there, he overtook the ball, brings it back under control now, finds Nunez. When he has been fit this season, he's been so good at pulling the strings in that Norwich midfield. Doyle. No one's got more assists for Norwich this season than Callum Doyle, which isn't bad for a defender. And he's picked out Dobbin on the left-hand side here. Dobbin miscontrols, but now does gather it. On the left wing, he's tightly marked, so it's gone back to Mahovo. Norwich moving the ball back into the middle of the pitch now with Callum Doyle. Such a good range of passing. Here's McLean on the edge of the penalty area. His route to goal is blocked. Marcondes picks it up. Nunez plays it along the ground to the left-hand side, and Dobbin on his right foot crosses the ball into the penalty area. There's a stooping clearance. It nearly breaks for Doyle on the edge of the penalty area, ricochets through and goes behind for a goal kick. And it is 0-0. We've played for 7.5 minutes, and Simon Lapinoe, I've mentioned this already, but it does feel as if we can already see what sort of game this is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And Norwich dominating the ball. Derby quite happy for them to have it. As you said, they're so compact, it's hard to play through them. What I have noticed is Kenny McLean playing a little bit higher, getting close to Sargent, and there isn't much space in between there. He takes the ball brilliantly though, just can't quite get it under control. But it might be one of these frustrating afternoons. The fans are going to have to be patient with them. But there is space in behind. If they can move the ball across that back line, as I said, Norwich, and try and draw Derby out a little bit, there is space in behind.
It's a good point about McLean. I've noticed that. He seems to be the furthest forward of the Norwich midfielders today. And it's a year ago this week since he scored a goal, McLean. So he's absolutely due one. Maybe he had a soft heart, can feel it coming. And he's got him to play a bit further forward. 0-0 at the moment. It's back with the Derby defence, and Clark, who they did sign in January from Middlesbrough. He's had a few injury problems, but really, really experienced. Started his career with Ipswich Town. Suffolk-born Clark, and here he is on the edge of his own penalty area, just about helping it to the experienced Ben Osborne at left wing back really. He launches it up the field. Duffy wins the header for Norwich City. It runs into the Derby half, and the team in white, the Rams, have possession again on halfway. Ibu Adams shuffles it back to Nat Phillips, who is still officially on loan from Liverpool. Played 29 games for Liverpool, Phillips, but he spent the vast majority of his career in recent years on loan at various clubs. And he's anchoring that Derby defence today, is Phillips. He's got Langas alongside him, who they signed in January. Here's David Ozo in midfield. Made a really promising start to the season, on loan from Crystal Palace, but then got injured. And just really feeling his way back. Ibu Adams now for Derby, who've enjoyed their longest spell of possession so far. They've got it to Mendes Lang on the right-hand side, the Derby skipper. Back again to Langas. And this is Derby showing a bit of composure, just trying to take any early sting out of the game, knowing that Norwich would have wanted to get on the front foot early. Nearly 10 minutes gone. A long spell of Derby possession now. Adams finds Mendes Lang in the centre circle. We're going to get the first bit of difficult defending for Norwich to do here. We might well do, because Mendes Lang has found Osborne coming forward on the left-hand side. His cross, and it's put in, but the flag is up. The flag is up. Salvesen steered it in from inside the 6-yard box. First time that Derby have had a shot at goal, put in from close range, superbly actually by Lars-Jørgen Salvesen. But straight away, the linesman on this near side put the flag up. But if you wanted a warning, Norwich City supporters, there it is.
You are not wrong at all. It's brilliant from Darby. You've got to say, they moved the ball so well. I just think Norwich's pressing was a little bit passive in it though. They let him have the ball, but it worked it from the right-hand side out to the left. A brilliant ball in from Osborne. You get to see the replay if he is offside. Salveson's adamant that he's not, but as you say, a warning sign for Norwich City.
I think he is, having just seen a replay, but I'm going to watch what's happening on the pitch now. Marcondes plays it behind McLean, who didn't quite read that, and here comes Derby again, and this is the risk in these games. You can get so focused on, right, we're going to be attacking today and we're going to dominate the ball. You almost leave the back door open. Nunez with his own great ball forward, and Dobbins flagged offside. He scores, but again, the flag was up early, so that's one apiece in terms of offside goals, and I think the correct decision made both times.
Yeah, I think so as well. Again, yet to see the replay, but what we spoke about, Chris, there is space in behind. You know, Nunez will look for that pass. Dobbin just coming off this left-hand side. I think he just gets his timing ever so slightly wrong. It's a great finish, I have to say, but a warning sign for both sides.
It's a shame because Dobbins beating that offside trap is something I've been really impressed by in the early part of his Norwich career. It doesn't feel like he's caught offside very often, and that's actually, having seen the replay, I think it is the right decision, but it's much tighter than I thought.
Yeah, very close. It's the same as the Salveson one. It's the right decision, but they are both close. But I mean, it 0-0, a warning sign for both teams.
But it could easily be 1-1. Both sides, in the space of a minute, have been goals, we think, correctly ruled out for offside. Duffy chops the ball away. It's returned by Clark for Derby. Mahobo clears Norwich's lines. A frantic spell of play. Dobbins' control lets him down this time, and Derby have a throw in. Well, you can see why Derby want to keep it tight. I know they've lost their last 7 matches, but you look at where their goals have come from this season. 13 they've scored from set pieces. Only Luton Town have scored more. Another team struggling towards the bottom of the Championship. So you can look at that either way, really. You can see they're at the bottom because they don't score many from other sources. But if Norwich don't get in front, and we've just seen if Derby do get a corner or a free kick, they are more than capable.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be well drilled in what they do at set pieces. It's something that's a massive part of the game nowadays.
Sienat's stealing the ball up the pitch for Norwich City, just about smuggling it back to Marcondes, and the Canaries now taking the game to Derby. Reverse pass from Nunez to Sienat's 25 yards out, central position, runs straight into the defender though, and it's pretty easy for Langas just to sweep it up and get things back for Derby. Sienat's hard-working. We saw that against Swansea. At least a couple of those goals of the 5 were down to his hard work. And again there, even when he's not on top of his game, he does make life uncomfortable for defenders, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just picks up the ball, driving inside. I think he's actually looking to nutmeg one of the Derby players when Josh Sargent had made a great run off the shoulder of the last defender.
Derby in possession. Harrisov Torrett, the Norwich City head coach, has his arms folded over there on the far side of the pitch, and he's watching Ozzo try to test the Norwich defence again with a long pass through the middle. Mahobo gets it back to Gunn, almost at thigh height, and Gunn does well to help it over the Derby striker, and back to Mahobo, who plays it straight against Salveson and behind for a goal kick. They are giving this more of a go than I thought the early stages suggested, Derby County. I think they've been encouraged by that Salveson offside goal, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. My team is down there and she's struggling for form, struggling for results and goals. Anything like that can give them a lift, a bit of positivity.
Ball played forward by Norwich City. I think that's going to go through to Zetterstrom. It's a confusing day today because we've got games going on in the League and in the FA Cup at the moment. Stoke 0, Cardiff 1 is the latest score. That's in the FA Cup. 2 Championship teams playing each other. Earlier on, Manchester City had to come from a goal down to beat Leyton Orient by 2-1. And there was a draw in the Championship between Sunderland and Watford, 2-2. Curling cross from Derby into the Norwich penalty area, easily taken this time by Gunn. More of an open game than I thought it might be after the first 5 minutes or so. Norwich in possession deep inside their own half.
Yeah, I think Derby, as you say, Chris, taking some encouragement, and rightly so, from the goal they scored in the offside position, but that'll give them a little boost. They worked it really well from one side to the other. I said Norwich pressing could have been a bit better. I think it was a bit passive. They managed to play through them and work it out the other side. But they'll certainly take encouragement from it.
Well, Paul Warren's January business nearly paid off for them there. Salveson, the striker, and Langas, the centre-back, both arriving from the same Norwegian club, Viking, in January. And we saw Salveson have the ball in the back of the Norwich net, but it was disallowed for offside. And just after that, Lewis Dobbin put the ball in the back of the Derby net. That too ruled out for offside, which, if you're just joining us, is why we're at 0-0, 15 minutes gone. BBC Radio Norfolk. Simon Lappin watching this one with us. And then now the game's reverted to type with Callum Doyle standing in the centre circle with his foot on top of the ball, looking at the entire Derby team in front of him.
You just look how congested it is. It's a back 5-4, Salveson up top on his own. There's no space in between.
Norwich have found a bit of room though for Marcondes on the left. He's got Dobbin in front of him. Dobbin's first instinct is to cut in, cross the ball with his right foot towards Sinats at the far post. He heads it down. Sargent can't get there. McLean's in the Derby penalty area again here. He's gone down. It's a bit more sort of shoulder to shoulder, really. Good hustling from Sinats. It ends up being a Derby throw-in. He feels it should have gone Norwich's way. But you're right about Kenny McLean. We're used to seeing him drop back in between the two Norwich centre-backs, but today he's up in the Derby penalty area a lot.
Yeah, you've got Nunez doing that deeper line role. And as you said, you're playing as a back three and Sargent's up there himself. You need players to make forward runs to engage the other two centre-backs to give them something to think about. You can then get your full-backs a bit higher as well as the wing-backs drop. But it's definitely, on occasion, you've seen him playing almost as that number 10 role.
Norwich playing it forward again. Marcondes, Norwich's player of the month for January, battling and working hard. McLean finds Sargent. Whoa, he's been taken down there, Sargent. One touch pass back to Nunez. Clear free kick though for Norwich City, and Sargent felt that one. And the referee, Ruben Ricardo, who's only 27 years old, the referee today. It's only the second championship match he's ever taken charge of. But so far, a couple of big calls that he's been helped out by his assistants with, but I think that was a fairly straightforward one for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that Phillips coming straight through the back of Sargent. Perfect range this for Marcelino Nunez. I think Duffy will be coming away from the ball. I don't think he'll go on it, but Kenny McLean and Nunez on the ball. And a brilliant opportunity for him. We've seen him do it on occasion from this range.
And Nunez has already got 4 this season for Norwich City, 4 goals. It's the best season he's had for goals. Up until this season, the majority of his goals have been from free kicks, but he's been a bit more lethal from open play this season. This is a free kick that's 23, 24 yards from goal. It's closer to the corner of the penalty area, the right corner as Norwich look at it, than it is the D. It's an awkward one for the goalkeeper to set his wall up for, though. It arguably favours Kenny McLean's left foot, this one,
on the right-hand side of the box. It's a difficult angle, but both capable.
They certainly are. This is where last season Norwich would have had Sarra and Nunez standing over it to good effect, but doing okay this season. McLean runs up to the ball, but it will be Nunez with the free kick, and it goes wide. It should have been McLean with the left foot.
Yeah, or even if given the distance and the angle, so they might want to move a yard or two, but doesn't get that one right, Nunez. And you can see him, he's having a smile to himself about it.
Well, we know there are times this season where it's felt like everything's going against Johannes Softorp, all those injury problems and suspensions, but 49 goals this season. Leeds have been going goal crazy recently. They're now in the 60s. But after that, Norwich and Middlesbrough both on 49. It's why they are where they are in the table.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that in the build-up to the game, Chris, the amount of goals have scored at home, and certainly recently as well, with 4s and 5s. We're not quite there yet this afternoon, but long way to go.
Well, of the 49, 36 of them have been on this ground. They score far more at home than they do away, Norwich City. It's amazing the difference.
And that's why they have to take advantage of a team down there fighting for their lives. You said the game's coming up against...
And here come Derby with Salverson, who's already had the ball back in the net, disallowed for offside. Mendes Lang doing well. Again, it's gone to the left-hand side, and Osborne's gone on the overlap, level with the Norwich penalty area. Tries a cross, there's a double ricochet back off Osborne. Good defending from Fisher, and it's a Norwich goal kick. But Ben Osborne's really experienced. He's 30 years old now. Was in the Premier League with Sheffield United last year. Spent a long time at Nottingham Forest, but he's a Derby boy. And he's left wing back, and he certainly has got a good delivery, hasn't he?
He does. We've seen it for the offside goal. But Fisher does really well. They're just matching his run on the overlap, and the ball ricocheting back off Osborne. But he certainly is a threat if he gets into that position high up the pitch with that left foot. And Norwich need to be aware of it.
BBC Radio Norfolk, Norwich City and Derby County drawing 0-0 at the moment. And the ball is back in the Norwich penalty area. Mahovo playing it to Duffy, and now Kellen Fisher will bring it forward from right back. He's made that position his own this season, Kellen Fisher. It's the 22nd of the 31 league games that he's started this season, most of them at right back.
He plays it so differently from Jack Stacey. You look at his position he takes up, it's almost as a centre midfielder, and seems popular in modern day football now, whereas Jack Stacey almost plays as a right winger. It's to get that extra body in midfield. But he's
yeah, that's why he plays.
Yeah,
that's what Johannes Softorp wants from his right back.
Absolutely, and then he's shown he's way more than capable of it. He's been brilliant so far this season.
Norwich on halfway, the whole Derby team in front of them once more. Mahovo is the chosen one to bring the ball forward this time. Through the middle to Sargent, nice turn from Sargent, but just lets the ball run away from him. And Derby then swarming around him, and they get the foot to it, and Norwich have to regroup again from halfway. Nice little turn there from Nunez. Through the middle of the pitch now comes Mahovo, tackled by Mendes-Lang, but Mahovo, we've seen already, great maturity, doesn't panic, keeps going, regathers the ball, and Norwich now switch the play to the right-hand side. Sienats to McLean. Nice touch back to Sienats, who thunders through one challenge. Then he needs a bit of help from Kellen Fisher, who's off balance, sent off balance there by a Derby player, but all is fair in the heat of the midfield battle in the Championship. And the Canaries are having to roll their sleeves up and battle for this one. Nunez goes down this time. Referee happy to let it go. Becoming a bit of a midfield scrap. 0-0, 20 minutes gone. Here's Doyle for Norwich City. Gives it to Mahovo, who seems to be seeing a lot of the ball at the moment, the young Norwich left back. Doyle now tries to clip one into the Derby penalty area, the central route. Dealt with. Thompson, the right wing back, brings it away for Derby, but poorly. Gives it to Marcondes. Norwich now have the ball where they want it, deep in Derby territory. They've actually worked it back to the halfway line though. And Duffy's got some room to just bring the ball into. Oh, then plays a poor ball through the middle, straight through to the Derby goalkeeper, Zetterstrom. It's just not opening up for Norwich at the moment, is it?
No, and Derby were delighted with it. You can sense a little bit of frustration start to creep in, but that's where they have to be patient and take that extra pass. But once again, you can see Marcondes, McLean trying to get higher up the pitch to engage the centre-backs. And speaking about Kellen Fisher, when he comes into midfield, you still want that protection with your centre-backs and Mahovo. I'd like to see Mahovo get a bit higher up the pitch and add another body once we do get the ball into the half.
Long ball forward from Derby, over the head of Salverson, the striker. Mahovo gives Angus Gunn an awkward back pass. This one bounces up at sort of chest height. And sounded like the Derby fans were appealing for handball against the goalkeeper there, because it was a back pass, so he couldn't pick it up, but he did well. And now, Nunez dribbles past a couple of challenges, and it then gets a lucky ricochet, and it comes back to him, and Norwich have now got a bit of space to run into. And Marcondes willingly charges into it through the middle. Mahovo joins the attack on the left-hand side. He's got Dobbin outside him, already level with the Derby penalty area. Norwich are upping the ante now. Dobbin to Marcondes on the edge of the box. Back to Dobbin, who doesn't get hold of the shot, and it goes wide. But that is what Norwich have been waiting for. Derby committing players forward. And I know it's difficult when you play against a team with a packed defence, but when Norwich move that ball quickly, they look a really dangerous side.
They do got a bit of good fortune. Lovely dummy from the referee, I have to add as well. But they work it well out to this left-hand side. Dobbin driving in. You've got Mahovo for the first time in the game joining in to take a body away. He plays it into Marcondes, follows his pass, and I don't think it just sits quite right for him. He doesn't get the shot right. But encouraging again from Norwich. They worked it really well, as you say, Chris.
Nearly had half of this first half already. Derby County will be pretty happy. Norwich City 0, Derby County 0 at Carrow Road. Both teams have had the ball in the back of the net, but both immediately ruled out for offside, and we think rightly so. Here's McLean for Norwich, who is now back in that familiar position between the two centre-backs. Goes through the middle this time and picks out Marcondes. Marcondes looking after the ball well. Dobbin's been a good outlet for Norwich in the early part of this game. Here he is on the left-hand side. Back to Nunez in the midfield. Up towards McLean. Now it's with Doyle. Again, has his foot on the ball. Weighs up his options. Decides the best one is Fisher on the right-hand side. Norwich, though, with a careless pass there. They've given it away to David Ozo, who's a tall midfield player with a long stride, and he's got away, and he's got high up the pitch here on the left-hand side. Sienats couldn't stop him, tried everything, but couldn't get hold of him. And now also bursts past Marcondes into the penalty area, plays it across, and Duffy has to cut it out. That was a really good run there from David Ozo. Only 19. He's already made 13 appearances for Crystal Palace's first team, on loan at Derby, and here they come again on the left-hand side. Houtmine crossing the ball in, McLean cuts it out, it goes behind. We have the first corner of the game, it goes to Derby, and this is where they can threaten. Yeah,
I've seen Kenny McLean there gesturing towards Sienats to calm down. He's the one that gives the ball away, gives it away cheaply, and then Ozil makes that drive and run. They win it back, and they force a corner, and Norwich will need to be on their guard here.
He's just back from 4 months out, David Ozo, in the midfield, and how Paul Warren must have wished that he had him for more of the season, because that was thrilling midfield play. Now, I've said it already, Derby have a very good record from set pieces this season. Mendes-Lang's lining up this corner with his right foot from the left-hand side. Everyone back for Norwich. There's some pushing and shoving in the penalty area, not quite on the scale of Vicarage Road last week.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see any red cards coming out, but referee Ruben Rodriguez on top of it.
And this happens all the time, Chris, but it's more and more often and more common now. The referee's stopping it, he's seen something. That happens all the time, the jostling, trying to get a yard on your opponent. But Norwich have got everybody back, and Derby have got 4 players outside the box.
Here comes another corner then. Played in by Mendes-Lang. Gunn does well to emerge through a crowd of players, punch it away, and the referee But Ruben Ricardo spotted a foul in there, so Norwich get a free kick. And that will help, won't it? Because we know that is something that Derby will threaten from. So to deal with the first one like that so well is a bit of a confidence booster.
Yeah,
for Norwich.
and they get the foul, but they have to defend it. They don't know they're going to get the free kick. But I always think, like I said, Chris, you get Mendes-Lang taking the corner, you get 3 other Derby players outside, you get the numerical advantage in the box. You're thinking, surely we're not going to concede from this. They know it's a threat, but Angus Gunn did really well. They're just coming and punching it clear.
And playing it out now short to Doyle. This is where Norwich will want Derby to keep men forward to try and close them down so that they can pick out the space. And it's Duffy, the centre-back, who's charging into that space now up towards the halfway line. Hits a diagonal ball over the top, looking for Dobbin. Dobbin might just get there ahead of the goalkeeper. No, it was good defending from Liam Thompson there, who just got his chest to it and got enough on it to get it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'm sure he's hard in his throat as well, just hoping that the goalkeeper's alert to him chesting it back. Good composure from Thompson.
I think he would have liked the goalkeeper to be slightly further off his line at the start of that. There was a moment where it looked as if the keeper wasn't going to get there, but he did in the end pretty comfortably. Duffy battling away, finding Doyle. Doyle's gone down in the centre circle, no foul, but Nunez gets himself in the way, so Derby can't profit from it. It's bouncing around the halfway line. Dobbin's gone down, Marcondes goes for it. What a scrap now, but Derby have possession after all of that.
And it's not the first time we've seen that becoming a bit scrappy and a bit dogged in midfield.
But you've got to be able to do that, haven't you?
Of
I know
course.
we want to see Norwich with the flowing football, the attacking football, the thrilling football, but no team's ever done one in the Championship without being able to mix it.
And that's the basics of the game, doing all that hard work, the hard graft, the ugly side of the game, as we always talk about. But just before the game, Chris, when you watch Norwich, you do always watch both teams and see if I can pick anything up. But in the warm-up they do here with Jack Wilshere just into the goal, it's the same one every week, but you just saw this today. It was that front three, but McLean and Marcondes, as they're playing in the game, really tight and a little finishing drill, and it's something they're trying to implement in the game here.
Angus with the throw-in for Derby, 0-0 on BBC Radio Norfolk. Norwich in possession with Sinat, who's done well to let the ball drop over his shoulder, up to Sargent. Neat ball back into the centre circle. Marcondes takes control of it, spins away from Ibu Adams, who brings him down. That's a clear foul. Could be the game's first yellow card. I can see the referee's thinking about it. It was pretty cynical, that, from Adams. He knew that Marcondes was going to get away from him, and yet the yellow card is in the referee's hand, and I don't think Ibu Adams can have too many complaints about that.
Absolutely not. He catches Marcondes knee high, a lovely turn. Marcondes looking to get away from him, and Adams just chopping him down. He can have no complaints with the yellow card whatsoever.
2.5 years at Norwich, Ibu Adams. They got him from non-league Dartford. Never made a first-team appearance, but he's gone on to play for Forest Green and Cardiff, and he's an all-action midfielder. I remember in the game we did at Pride Park, the 3-2 earlier this season, I don't think I've ever seen a physio come on for one player more times than Ibu Adams in that game, and that's the way he plays.
Yeah, he's all action, as you said, and we've just seen a perfect example of it there. He'll need to be careful though after picking up the yellow card.
Yeah, 27 minutes played. Marcondes is okay. It's 0-0. Norwich have a free kick just over the halfway line. McLean's going to hit it high towards the Derby penalty area. Doyle gets his head to it. It's going to be Clark who clears for Derby. The striker Salverson is back there as well. Tries to launch it away and slice it out of play for a Norwich throw in. And Norwich get on with it quickly, looking to try and keep Derby on their toes. It's played back to Kenny McLean. Every Derby player between him and the penalty area, but he plays it long anyway. Duffy's still up there from the set piece. He heads it down to Dobbin on the left-hand side. Dobbin's tightly marked. He's gone back to Mahovo, and now Kenny McLean on halfway, and Norwich build again. This time it's Nunez coming forward. Tries I think was going to be a shot there from distance, but it was charged down and out of play for a throw-in.
And why not? We've seen him score from there before, but you get your centre-backs up in the box, you've seen a couple of diagonal balls to them, just trying to enjoy a spell of pressure.
Yeah, 28 minutes gone.
I always think this, it's getting that first goal, of course, is the hardest thing, because then Derby have to come out of this compact shape and try and get back in the game, and that's when Norwich can really exploit them.
Clark, the defender for Derby, taking a chance against Sargent here. He gets away with it, but then gives it away straight to Callum Fisher, who comes forward. Has he taken out there? The referee says no. Allows play to go on. Fisher went to crashing to the ground there after the challenge from Clark, who was trying to make up for the error. Fisher then, clearly frustrated, goes in and meets out his own form of revenge, and he is going to get a yellow card. Callum Fisher is frustrated because he felt he should have had a free kick. As Derby broke away, he thought, well, I'm not having that. He went crashing through the Derby man, and he gets penalised and gets the yellow card, but I think he feels he should have had a free kick earlier.
Yeah, and it's right in front of the assistant referee as well on that far side on the right hand side. And as you say, feels a bit aggrieved about not getting the decision, and again, rightly so, it is a yellow card for the foul on Mendes-Lang.
Well, you mentioned Jack Wilshere a moment ago, the former England international, former Arsenal man. Got the chance to speak to him on BBC Radio Norfolk this week. Rob had a chat with him, and if you download the Scrimmage podcast. Make sure you get onto BBC Sound, subscribe to the Scrimmage podcast and the Scrimmage Daily, and you will get updates all through the week, including that full interview with Jack Wilshere from earlier this week. Now, game going on in the Championship. Sheffield United and Portsmouth drawing 1-1 at the moment at Bramall Lane. Long ball forward from Zetterstrom for Derby, headed away by Norwich. Thompson plays it forward again for Derby, but it's a poor touch from him in the end, and Mahovo is able to steal in and get it for Norwich City. The left back going back towards his own penalty area, but he manages to play it forward to Marcondes. Marcondes scored in possession, but it was a foul. And Norwich have a free kick now back inside the own half. You just had a chance to have a look at that challenge on Fisher again earlier on. Was he right to feel aggrieved?
No, I think actually Matt Clark gets a touch on the ball and it's just a follow through from it. You have seen them given, but the referee and the assistant referee didn't deem it a foul. He obviously, like we said, Fisher felt a little bit aggrieved about it, and the frustration got the better of him in retaliating, but I've seen them given, Chris.
I know I've mentioned this already, but when they say about policemen, don't they? But when the referees are getting younger, 27 the referee today, then we know we're getting older, I think is more to the point. As Osborne comes forward, that's a really great tackle from Nunez on halfway for Norwich City. Certainly full of confidence after his own injury problems. It's good to see a player who's back from injury going in for a challenge like that. Marcondes on the left-hand side, tries to put it into the path of Dobbin, it's got too much on it, and behind for a goal kick. You know what I mean, though, when a player's been out injured, you almost look forward to that first crunching tackle they're involved in, don't you?
And it's whatever the injuries have been, whatever it may be as a player, you want to test that injury, and that will do his confidence a world of good. But when we do see him do it, he's the one, he can be the catalyst at times for things, Chris, with that, just a tackle. He's so tenacious, we've seen him doing it when he's been in the side. We know he can play, but he can also do the other side of the game very, very well.
One of Derby's players over that far side, I think the Osborne's got a bit of a problem at the moment, not moving particularly freely.
I think it was the tackle from Nunez.
I thought they might give him some treatment, but Derby have played on, they've taken the goal kick, and they've ended up losing possession, so no reason for Norwich to put it out. Osborne's up on his feet, I think he's going to be okay. We've got 14 minutes to go to half-time. Hannesov Torp, long black coat on, watching on the side of the pitch, just getting a bit more animated now. I think 0-0, he doesn't want his team, he doesn't want the fans to become frustrated. Here's McLean, tackled there by Langas, who brings it forward on the right-hand side, testing Mahovo. Mahovo's done really well there under pressure. Just as Langas leaned into him, Mahovo got the ball back to his goalkeeper. Langas might have just left something on Mahovo there as the tussle continued after the challenge was made. But
if you're wrong, a centre-back making that long-bursting run, you want to get your money's worth, so he's just left one on him.
Again, right in front of the assistant referee on this near side. Nunez lays it off to Marcondes. Marcondes tries to hit it out to the right-hand side, but Osborne has recovered from his earlier knock. Intercepts, finds the shaven-headed Clark at the heart of the defence. And now Osborne will give it away. Now this could be a chance for Norwich. Marcondes up to Sargent. Sargent spins away from one defender, but they've got three centre-backs, Derby, and there's another one waiting. It was Nat Phillips to crunch him with a challenge and clear. Throw-in taken by Norwich, trying to just keep the tempo up here. Slightly lazy ball back towards Cernat, so it's gone through to the goalkeeper.
It's a great ball from Marcondes into Sargent, as you said. I think he rolls Nat Phillips, but it might be Clark that just comes round and on the cover for him.
It's a crunching challenge from Nunez this time on Ibu Adams. He's down, and I don't think there's going to be a card this time. But we'll talk about how crucial the January transfer window is. West Brom made that signing of Adam Armstrong on loan from Southampton, and he scored today in his West Brom debut. They beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 a little bit earlier on. It all means that Norwich City have an opportunity to get into the top six today. Adams is down. I don't think he's going to need the physio on this time. He's still on the floor. Referee's going to talk to Nunez. Don't think the yellow card's coming out.
No, and of course I've got my yellow tinted glasses on here, Chris, but it's just a coming together. Nowadays you see it, people getting given yellow cards for tackles like that. I don't think there's anything in it. There's no malice in it. And as you said before, Adams just likes to lie in the ground and hopefully get the physio. The physio must have something in that bag that he can give him.
He's up on his feet now, Adams. He's okay.
He's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. But that's a good battle now, because Adams is on a yellow card, and I think he's just asking the referee, well, hang on, I was booked, why wasn't Nunez?
Yeah, but like I said, his foul on Marcondes, he's wiped him out of the game, whereas just there, I think it's the ball's there to be won, and Nunez goes shoulder to shoulder with him, gets the better of him.
And there's a sort of handshake between...
I don't understand that. High five.
And Adams. They seem to be arguing with each other while they were shaking hands. Derby have restarted the game. Cleared away by Mahovo, sliced into the stands here in front of us, thrown to Derby on the right-hand side. Rather a grey day here in Norfolk today. Anywhere as near as chilly as it has been the last couple of days, but still waiting for this game to really come to life. It threatened to when both sides had goals ruled out for offside within a minute of each other. But Derby have managed to make this the sort of game that they would have wanted it to be, Paul Warne or not at the moment. A frustrating effort for Norwich so far. Very, very few chances, and it's 0-0. Here's McLean. Back to Mahovo. McLean again. Oh, Norwich playing some nice stuff in their own left-back position here, but can they now conjure a way forward? McLean to the feet of Dobbin. Dobbin running in field away from David Ozzo. And now he gives it to Shane Duffy, who's turned up as the option in the Norwich midfield. Back to Doyle, onto Nunez. Quick one-touch passing from Norwich. There is a sense that Norwich have now realised they've got to try and move it a little bit more quickly to try and get in behind Derby. Poor pass from Mahovo to Marcondes, and it's cleared away by Derby. And what this means is that we're back with Norwich having to start again with the entire Derby team in front of them.
Yeah, they worked it so well, Norwich as well, from their own byline to the halfway line. But as you say, when it slows down and Derby getting bodies behind the ball again and back into that 5-4-1 formation and frustrating the life out of Norwich. But it's important that they do stay patient and not get frustrated by it.
Just would say Norwich haven't really had a chance yet.
No,
though,
and the goalkeeper's not been tested, and you're looking for a bit more from Dobbin on this left-hand side, certainly a bit more from Siernats on the right as well. But they've been starved up.
No way forward there. His attempted ball forward has been cut out, and Derby have it. Adams finds Helpmine on halfway, and now Ben Osborne with one of these really promising breaks on the left-hand side. He's done that to good effect already. Siernats gets a challenge in, Derby throw. But it's the sort of afternoon that I think Norwich fans felt at the back of their minds it might be. You play against a struggling team, 7 straight defeats in the league. The one thing they're going to try and do is make it difficult for you.
They certainly are, and they're doing that. And you look at the league table, they're not cut adrift from it. They're down there, but they're not out of it by any manner of means, so that they're fighting for their lives. Every point's going to be important for them.
There are options if you're joining us on the bench for Norwich today, because Slimani's back fit again. We've got Maciej Jurasik on the bench for the first time for Norwich City. The other new signings, Jacob Wright and Rory McConville. Oscar Schwartau, who's been a regular starter, is now a substitute for Norwich City. So Janisov Torup, he knows that the 11 players he's got out there today, they don't necessarily have to do it all themselves.
And he has used his bench to great effect in recent games as well. I mean, go back to the Coventry game when Forson comes on. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but making subs at the right time.
And McLean's done well to go in and win the challenge on halfway, but Norwich don't keep it. So congested in there. He's Ibu Adams, the Derby midfielder, on the right-hand side. With the left foot, tries to swing the ball over to the left-hand side. It's a really good pass. Helpmine now on the front foot. Siernats makes a strong challenge, just forces Derby back, but Clark has picked it up and has found Osborne in a good position. Floated cross in from the left. Salverson's in there again, beaten this time by Doyle. Marcondes heads it away. Derby have it back in the Norwich half, though, and they've found the strong figure of Mendes Lang on the right-hand side. Dobbin back defending. Mendes Lang's level with the Norwich penalty area. Back to Thompson. Mendes Lang in front of him. Mahovo goes to close him down, but he's got the pass to Ibu Adams. There's Nunez to get the foot to it. It goes behind, and Derby have their second corner. Norwich haven't won a corner yet, which just goes to show that it's been a little too comfortable for the Derby defence up till now.
Yeah, Norwich haven't really, as I've said, the two white players have been starved of the ball. They've not gone into a situation with 1v1 against a centre-back or a wing-back. They've not tested the goalkeeper. I'm sure that's something the manager will be slightly concerned about. Something to deal with before all that.
Angus Gunn hasn't really been tested yet, though, and let's see whether that remains the case after this corner. It's bound to be tested here in some way. With Osborne getting ready with the left foot from the right-hand side. Whips the delivery into a crowd of players. Somebody got there for Norwich and cleared. As far as the edge of the penalty area, Helpmine's got it for Derby, though. Has a chance to put it back in the box. Siernats making it difficult for him, shadowing him all the way out towards the left-hand side. Helpmine eventually crosses. Good hard work from Marcondes to block it and then head it clear. In doing so, though, Derby have got it in play, and that's offside. Flag's up. Yeah, Osborne had strayed into an offside position. And the flag goes up against him, and Norwich see that out. Another set piece dealt with.
Yeah, and very comfortable as well. As I said, they've got that numerical advantage in there, and I'm sure the manager and his staff would be really disappointed to concede. You've got so many bodies in the box in your favour.
It's back with Gunn, Norwich goalkeeper. Barkley in behind him in this first half. It's been a game starved of goalmouth action, really, inside the first 39 minutes. Both sides have had the ball in the net ruled out rightly for offside. Other than that, I don't think either goalkeeper's made a save.
No, neither have been tested. Listen, you're just looking at as the ball's getting brought forward here by Duffy. Sargent playing against that back line. It's too easy for them just playing against that back three. And as I said, they need to make the forward runs. Marcondes, McLean needs to join in. Dobbin might be the one to disrupt that back line, or Siernats on the other side.
Sense Carrow Road just beginning to be a bit frustrated there as Duffy brought it forward slowly, but
we've been here before, Chris, on many occasions, and as you say, the ones that are most calm about it all, believe it or not, be the players on the pitch.
Duffy loses possession this time though, and Derby trying to play it through the Norwich defence, but it's been intercepted by Doyle very well. McLean loses to David Ozzo, but Sienats again doing a good job defensively for Norwich, and then Fisher gets in a tangle with Nunez, and Derby have an opportunity. Mendes-Lang, left edge of the penalty area. Fisher goes to close him down. Nunez is there as well. They've got the ball out to Osborne, who sweeps the ball in from the left-hand side. Salverson goes for it with the header. It's blocked. It bounces in the Norwich penalty area, and Doyle will clear it away. If anything, actually, the Derby attacks, of course, more panic at the penalty area than the Norwich ones.
I think it was Kevin Fisher that maybe tries a bit too clever with a back heel towards Nunez. Derby pounce on it, and as you see, they throw the ball in the box. But you've got to say Doyle and Duffy and Angus Gunn dealt with it really well. Mahovo was tucking round on the cover.
Still 0-0. I mean, in a way, you applaud the invention and the ideas, but you've got to get the basics right, haven't you?
Yeah, but absolutely. And sometimes it's trying back heels in that area of the pitch, and a little bit too risky for me, but the manager's obviously given them license to try these things. But when it doesn't come off, that can happen.
Thompson, Derby right wing back, has possession. Back to Norwegian defender Langas into the midfield. Clever touch there from Adams up towards halfway. Doyle flies in for the challenge and wins it, but Derby have it back again with Salverson. Strong play from him into the path of Mendes-Lang, who's going to be flagged offside as soon as he touches the ball. You could see the assistant referee was sort of galloping alongside Mendes-Lang there, and that right arm was twitching. You could see it was going to go up as soon as he touched the ball. He couldn't wait, could he?
I think Mahovo was the same, thinking, please give the you better be giving this. He's saying that the rest of the Norwich backline were pretty sure it was offside.
He's a long way offside.
Yeah,
I think from Mahovo, for his heart rate, he could have done with that flag just going up a little bit sooner.
Exactly. But the right decision in the end.
0-0. Not too much to write home about in terms of goal-scoring opportunities at either end. Derby have defended stoutly. They have just one or two issues for the Norwich defence, but that said, Angus Gunn hasn't had a save to make. Mind you, neither has Zetterstrom, the Derby goalkeeper, who plays in a Petr Cech, one of those rugby-style scrum caps Zetterstrom is wearing. Doyle floats the ball towards the right-hand side. Decent ball. Fisher meets it on the run on the corner of the penalty area. Has to play it back to McLean in order to keep Norwich in possession. Now Nunez forward to Fisher once more. Bounces off Fisher though and falls for Ozzo for Derby. And that Norwich move breaks down. Fisher gets himself in the way of the ball. There's a collision out there. It's gone out of play. Throw-in's gone Norwich's way. David Ozzo doesn't like it. But it is a Norwich throw. Just not, again, that was an example of it not quite happening for Callum Fisher. Tried another clever flip.
And it's Sienats comes off that line, just bringing the wing back with him to free Kevin Fisher up on the overlap. They find him and he just can't get the ball under control. It's a couple of occasions now. We know how good he's been.
3 minutes to go to half-time. 0-0. Fisher, right-hand side for Norwich City. Halfway inside the Derby half. Sienats outside him. He plays it into the middle of the pitch now, and Lucien Mahovo. Now Dobbin trying to inject some urgency into this Norwich attack. Back to Mahovo. Good run forward from the back here from Doyle in the centre of the pitch. He's found Marcondes. Back to Mahovo. Packed defence for Norwich to find a way through. Mahovo looking for options. Goes short to Marcondes. Sargent's dropped deep. He gets the ball towards the right-hand side and Kellen Fisher. Fisher being marshalled all the way well there by Hauptmann, and Norwich have had to move it to Doyle. He's played it into the penalty area but can't pick out Sargent, and through it goes to the goalkeeper. And again, as I said earlier on, most assists for Norwich this season in the Championship, Callum Doyle. He's got a great range of passing. He just didn't quite get that one right.
He certainly has, and Duffy played one earlier the same, trying to thread that ball, and it's so tight in there. What I'd like to see Norwich do, I think Mahovo can get higher up the pitch, or Fisher. Derby haven't been tested from a ball from wide areas yet. There's not been a ball, and it's one of the ones you have to do when they're sitting so deep, they're so compact. Can you move them to get the ball wide to then test them from across from a wider area?
Maybe it's the stage is set for Maciej Jurisic to come on, a more natural winger and make a difference. But here's the man on the left for Norwich, Dobbin, trying to do that now. He's got Mahovo outside it, up towards the corner of the penalty area, brings it infield and goes back to Nunez. Always seems to be available for the pass. Now Doyle, who's joining in with the game increasingly in Derby territory, again threads it into the penalty area, can't pick out McLean. Sienats is coming around the right-hand side and at least forces Osborne to put it out of play for a throw-in.
Yeah, and you can see, I think it's Kenny McLean who's giving Callum Doyle a thumbs up there, because it's the right pass at that time, but Sienats is just not alert to get on the end of it, and he goes too late, and albeit he forces a throw-in, but it is actually a good pass from Callum Doyle, but Sienats just not in the same wavelength as him. Norwich
create something. A minute to go in this first half. I think really had a chance yet in this first half. You can see Johannes Hoftorp moving along the side of the touchline, just urging his team to take it to Derby a little bit more here, pointing the way forward. Derby sitting back deeper and deeper. That's allowing Doyle to have possession inside the Derby half. Onto Marcondes through the middle. Marcondes up towards McLean. Back to Nunez. Snappy passing from Norwich City, but Nunez just doesn't quite get the ball right to Sienats on the right. Now it goes for a throw in.
I think it's actually a good pass, Chris, to be honest. I think Sienats just on his heels, he's not expecting it. And just that little combination there, that was exactly what I spoke about, what Jack Wilshere's doing in the warm-up down here with Nunez threading it into Sargent or Marcondes and McLean running off it. Sienats just on his heels.
I think that's probably criticism we've levelled at Ante Sienats a bit in his first half season or so with Norwich, just not quite anticipating the ball might come to him enough.
Yeah, and there's no doubt in his work rate and his commitment and effort, and you see him tracking back at times, but just like to be a bit more proactive and thinking, yeah, the ball's going to be there instead of being reactive to it. On a couple of occasions now, we said Doyle played the one through there, Nunez has played one in his path, and he just can't quite get there.
Minutes of time added on in this first half. Can Norwich take advantage of that 1 minute? Doyle again, seeing more of the ball than anybody else at the moment for Norwich City. He's only about 35 yards from goal. Lays it off to Marcondes. Fisher now well forward. It's even the Norwich back line are getting on the attack here, but Derby have got so many players back, there's no way through. This time Doyle will pick out Dobbin on the left-hand side. It's off Derby, Lewis Dobbin dashes inside. Marcondes with a bit of room temporarily. Nunez, 20 yards out, hits a shot, deflected, easily through to the goalkeeper, who rather dramatically dives on the ball. I don't think we can count that as a shot on target, though, can we?
No, I think it's a trickle towards goal more than a shot on target, but Norwich, they're working it well. They're being patient, as we said. They're going to have to be moving it side to side. I always think that when Dobbin gets the ball, you know he's going to come in on his right foot, and you've got to say that Derby have actually marshalled it really well. That's
half time, and there's been very little goal-mouth action at either end. There was a couple of minutes where this game threatened to come to life. First, Salverson, the striker for Derby, had the ball in the back of the net but was flagged rightly offside, and a minute later Dobbin had the ball in the back of the net for Norwich but was rightly flagged offside. The game didn't come to life as it threatened to do so after that, and it's ended up being the sort of match that, looking at the league table and the relative situations the team find themselves in, that you thought it might be. Derby have come here to keep it tight. They've defended really, really well. Well, we don't know where Paul Warne is today, the Norfolk boy, whether he's following this one. I wonder what's going through his mind at the moment. The team he was manager of until yesterday, Derby County, drawing 0-0 with his hometown club, Norwich City. The game's back underway, no changes made by either of the permanent Norwich head coach or the temporary Derby management team at half-time. We'll go through the lineups in a moment, but it's Derby who are showing first with Houtmine to Osborne, left-hand side. He's come forward from left wing-back. He's level with the Norwich penalty area. Clark joins in the attack as well. The centre-back, lovely turn from Osborne away from Callum Fisher. Clark then sets Osborne up for the crossing opportunity. Fisher does well, comes across, snuffs it out, and it will be a corner. So, well, there's us talking about Norwich City stepping it up. Simon Lappin, but it's Derby County who've come out in the bottom three, but they've come out at the start of the second half and pressure straight on Norwich.
Yeah, and they've done it really well. It's similar to the offside goal. They work out to that right-back area. Norwich, when they went pressed, it's slightly off in the time, and I think it's seeing that again, just not getting it quite right. They work it well out to this left-hand side. A lovely turn from Osborne, asking Callum Fisher to do a bit of defending, and concedes the corner. So
it's Derby's third corner of the match. Norwich haven't had one yet. Mendes-Lang delivers from the left-hand side. It's met at the near post in the end by Phillips for Derby and behind for a goal kick. No harm done for Norwich City, but a warning there for them. The Norwich team, still the same as it was in the first half. Gunning goal, Fisher, Duffy, Doyle, Mahovo the defenders. McLean, Nunez and Marcondes in midfield. Sienats on the right, Dobbin on the left, Sargent up front. Callum Doyle, the Norwich City centre-back, is bringing the ball forward, and he's picked out Marcondes on halfway. Just couldn't get it out of his feet quick enough, Marcondes. He was really tightly marked there by Langas, and it meant that the quick pass that I think he intended just wasn't on for him. Nunez goes looking for it, gets a foot in. The ball bounces into the Derby half. Should be dealt with here by Langas, the defender, who's gone back to goalkeeper Zetterstrom, who's had very little to do at the Swede. Norwich won 3-2 at Derby earlier this season. A hat-trick from Borja Sainz. Last of his 6-match ban today, Sainz. He'll be back on Tuesday when Norwich play Preston. A game you can hear live with us on BBC Radio Norfolk. 0-0 at the moment. Derby going long here, and Mendes-Lang has got in behind the Norwich defence. He's in the penalty area from the angle, brings it under control. Oh, he's tried to set up Salverson, who dummied it, expecting that somebody was behind him, and they weren't, and Norwich have been able to pick it up. But it's Derby who have come out at the start of this second half looking to really give Norwich a bloody nose.
Yeah, just a warning saying again, Mendes-Lang just drifting off the back of Callum Doyle. He can't quite get it right. He cuts it back to the edge of the box. Salverson's making that run. He's hoping someone's arriving at the edge of the box, and thankfully for Norwich, there wasn't.
Here's Mahovo up towards the halfway line for Norwich. Marcondes back to goal. Now brings it under control really well. Shields it from the attention of a Derby player. McLean joins the attack. 25 yards out. Fisher on the right-hand side. Level with the penalty. Gets the cross in, but it's a poor one. Easily taken at the near post by Zetterstrom. He's in goal. Langas, Clark and Phillips, the three centre-backs for Derby. They've kept Josh Sargent quiet so far. Thompson and Osborne, the wing-backs. They've got Adams, Ozo, Outmine and Mendes Lang across the midfield. And Salverson up front. 3 minutes into the second half. 0-0. We talked a lot about the new signings who are on the bench, but there's also Jack Stacey, who's come on to good effect at times for Norwich this season, and Dennis Ben Slimani, who's back from injury.
Yeah.
Loads of options.
Yeah, and just looking at the way the game is going, and especially in the first half, that Norwich didn't have any real width, and it's the first time we see Kevin Fisher getting in that area and doesn't get his cross right.
Nunez from deep clips the ball into the Derby penalty area. Oh, Sinet's attacked it, beaten in the air by Clark. Good defending from the man signed from Middlesbrough in January. And it's out of play for a Norwich City throw-in. They lost Aaron Cashin, of course, one of their top defenders, to Brighton in the transfer window derby, and perhaps it was that move that allowed Rory McConville to leave Brighton and come to Norwich City. Here's Doyle, central position, 30 yards out, closed down, gets tackled. Mahovo sweeps up to prevent any possible Derby counter-attack, and Norwich have it again inside Derby territory with Duffy. It's 0-0. Long diagonal pass from Duffy. It's swirling. It's awkward for Dobbin. He does really well to control that. He's up against Thompson. A tussle between the two of them, and Dobbin emerges with the ball. That's really good play from the winger on the left-hand side. Now Marcondes collects from Mahovo, but Norwich go back again to Mahovo, and with Derby so organised defensively, organised and a case of sheer weight of numbers, Norwich are finding it really difficult to pick up those passes in the final third.
Yeah, and you spoke about it before the game, Chris, about the way Paul Warren had his team set up. You're getting to see what they've worked on here.
Mahovo swings one into the Derby penalty area. Clark tries to control. McLean gets a foot in, and Langas, a bit of panicky defending there, has to put it out for a throw-in. It's almost the first time in the game that we've seen that bit of panic in the Derby box.
Yeah, that's what, it's just a ball into the box. We've seen Kevin Fisher didn't quite get his cross right. Ask questions of them in their back line.
Sargent back to Doyle, 25 yards out. Doyle goes through a couple of challenges. Left corner of the penalty area now. Ozo marking him tightly. He's managed to dig the pass out to Mahovo. He's got two players up against him on the front foot for Norwich. Loses it eventually. And Derby clear the ball away. And now Doyle has got to run back here to beat Salverson to the ball and get it back to Angus Gunn. Norwich camped inside the Derby half there, but as soon as Derby got it, they cleared it upfield and tried to turn Norwich round. Now Nunez comes forward. Norwich fans just lifting the noise levels 5 minutes into the second half as Norwich try to attack the Barclay end in their yellow and green. Nice pass from Nunez to Marcondes. Goes down, foul by Ibu Adams. Free kick Norwich City halfway inside the Derby half. Derby in their white shirts, black shorts, black socks. Not sure that Norwich have had a shot on target yet. It hasn't felt like they have.
No, I think there was one that trickled towards goal at the tail ends of the first half, but Norwich, in so many occasions you've seen this, they've tried to play in between Derby. It's so compact and there's so many players in close proximity that can get pressure on the ball. It's not quite sticking, and that's what I'm saying. We need to move the ball side to side, to get it wide, to ask different questions of them and try and stretch that back line, because I say they're so compact, that they're so well drilled in what they're doing.
And the other thing that Derby will know, and will just be at the back of their minds, is that Norwich have only kept one clean sheet at home this season. Yeah, they have been vulnerable at home.
Yeah, and as you said, they're a threat from set pieces, and it's a typical away side performance to come here frustrate Norwich and try and nick something from a set piece or a breakaway.
Halfway inside the Derby half, Norwich free kick, central position. Nunez and McLean standing over it. Dobbins in space over on the left wing. But they've got plenty in the penalty area. That's where McLean looks to play the ball, and Doyle attacks it. It goes right across the face of goal and behind off a defender. Good defending. I think it might have been Mendes Lang who dived in there to get a flick and take it away and behind. And Norwich have their first corner of the match.
It's a great ball from McLean, and just having a look here at Carrow Doyle, he's got a sore one.
Really attacked it there, Doyle, didn't he? And he put it through the 6-yard box, and then there was a case of who could get on the end of it, and there were players from both sides throwing themselves at it.
Yeah, and, it's a sore one, Chris, and it's right across the face of goal, just begging to be tapped in. Really brave from Doyle.
Well, there were two Norwich players, I think Sargent and Marcondes sliding in, 2 or 3 defenders as well, and it went wide off Mendes Lang. So we've talked about Derby's threat from set plays. This is Norwich's first corner. Doyle's fine, it's going to be okay. It's taken 52 minutes for Norwich to win a corner.
And it's the hands on the chest.
Oh yes, yes, of course.
Keep tabs of it.
Now Nunez is back. There will be all the secret signs out there for the corners. Is this the sort of opportunity that Norwich can make count in what's been a really tight game? So few chances in it up until this point, but a corner at the Barclay end for Norwich City. Marcelino Nunez on his return to the Norwich team is going to play it into the penalty area towards the near post. Duffy helps it on. Oh, and it's across the face of goal and wide. I think Did it come off a defender? I'm sure it came off a defender. Referee's given a goal kick. Oh, well, that was a defender.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, you can see all the Norwich players with their arms outstretched as if they say, they can't believe you're giving that decision. It's a great ball from Nunez, just helped on. I'm not sure if it was
Clark, isn't it?
Yeah,
Surely
and it's
Clark.
clear
I
as
thought
day.
it was. Duffy flicks it on, and then the Derby defender Clark gets up and heads it out of play. That should be another corner.
He's not got the type of head you can miss, have he? As well, Chris. So the referee's with a bit of an error there.
Might have been a bit of glare off the floodlights maybe off his head.
Maybe that.
I'm
getting there. I'm catching up with him.
Well, yes. Well, that's why I can say it. And it's 0-0. And Derby have a goal kick, which they probably shouldn't have had. And Zetterstrom, the Swedish goalkeeper, thumps it up the field. It's in the Norwich left-back position when Mahovo moves it forward. And he's needed again here, and this time he gets a bit of distance on it. There's another header from Clark into the Norwich half this time. Nodded aside by McLean for Fisher to chase to the right-hand side, but he's been beaten to it by Houtmine. And Derby have possession inside the Norwich half. Sinats, though, does well. Sees a heavy touch from Houtmine, takes the ball, and McLean plays it forward early. And Sargent now is bearing down on the penalty area. Phillips has come across really well, deals with it, puts it out for a throw. And it's hard when you're a centre forward up against three centre backs.
Yeah, and he's been started of any service. He's been well marshalled by that back line of Derby County. But great ball from McLean, just turning them. You've got to say, brilliant defending from Sinats as well, getting back in and helping Fisher.
Maybe this is what Norwich have got to do, just move the ball a little bit more quickly, not worry quite so much about the precision, just get the ball towards the Derby penalty area.
A little bit more urgency, and as I said, if you get it into that wide area, don't turn down the opportunity to cross it. If you get half a yard, ask a question and
floats it to Sinats on the right hand side. Osborne really good defending against Sinats, brings it up towards the left wing, seemed to run it out of play. Assistant referee says it was still in, and Derby have it now with Ibu Adams out towards the right hand side. Thompson coming forward, Norwich under pressure here. Mendes Lang crosses into the penalty area. Doyle gets a looping header to it, still in the Norwich box. Nunez launches it to safety. 2 or 3 players colliding there. Sargent wins a free kick. He was sort of got caught in a Sargent sandwich there between Clark and Langas, and Norwich get the free kick. And that was, you remember the game that Norwich won at Derby earlier this season when Sainz scored scored a hat-trick, but 2 of those goals, the ball was out of play in the build-up to them, and actually it looked as if Derby were going to get a taste of their own, or give Norwich a taste of their own medicine there, because I don't know that Osborne kept that ball.
Yeah, I'm not so sure either, but I'm just making sure Sargent's okay. There, he gets a sore one, as you said. And a couple of monsters, he gets trapped between here. He's took a sore one in the face, but he's made of tough stuff, he's fine.
This is going to be interesting now, because the longer it stays 0-0, the more Norwich need a goal. They've got another game on Tuesday. Josh Sargent, we know that they've talked about using him carefully and not wanting too many minutes out of too many players. How long do they leave him on? Nunez as well.
Yeah, of course.
As Doyle makes a challenge and a foul on Ibu Adams, free kick to Derby.
I'd imagine Nunez, if they're looking to protect him a little bit, I'm sure we'll get to see a couple of debuts, as you say, Chris.
Well, we mentioned the number of subs you're allowed to make. That touchline over on the far side, the players warm up. Ibu Adams is hobbling. I mean, that wasn't much of a challenge, was it, from Doyle?
The physio must be thinking, not again.
Here's Osborne on the left-hand side. Physio not needed, 0-0. Osborne plays it early here, up towards Salverson. Holds it up nicely, but he was offside again, Salverson. And a goal disallowed in the first half for offside, as did Lewis Dobbin for Norwich City. And still, really, that's the closest we've come to a goal, other than that one that went across the 6-yard box a few minutes ago from the corner for Norwich City.
The 10 minutes of the second half, Chris, and I'm pretty sure it won't be long before we see a change. A lot of like for like, you would imagine, position-wise.
Well, the fourth official's got his board ready, but I think it was the Derby coaching staff I could see talking to him. So I think Derby might make the first change. Duffy plays one up towards the edge of the box. Sargent shows for it, does really well to set up Sinats on the edge of the box. Sinats has got 2 defenders up against him. He somehow managed to get it through to Marcondes. Cleared away, good defending from Clark. And again, Norwich working so hard to get it towards the edge of the Derby penalty area, but then there's just so many players there, there's no way through.
And they just need to keep prodding and be patient. And as I said, I've said it so many times, we've got to move it side to side to try and disrupt Derby. You look at it now and think, where can we go here?
And Shane Duffy carrying the ball forward for Norwich City. McLean up early towards Sargent, back to goal, trying to turn on the edge of the penalty area. Ibu Adams breaks it up. Sargent has managed to somehow smuggle it back towards Nunez. Ibu Adams tackles him now, and it's cleared away. Good defending from Adams there.
Yeah, it certainly was.
He took Sargent away and then Nunez. Doyle returns it with interest, cleared by Derby. It bounces into the midfield. Norwich collect.
But as a Derby player, Chris, I was saying, you sometimes take confidence from this, but when you're camped into this, it becomes mentally and physically demanding, and it just takes that one lapse of concentration to let Norwich in.
So a smattering of applause here for a Norwich City fan who died earlier this week, Stephen Howes, at the age of 57. His family were appealing for a minute's applause in the 57th minute, or after 57 minutes, and that's what we've got now. That's why you can hear applause. You might hear more in a moment, because Norwich are attacking here with Dobbin. He gets tackled. Doyle goes looking for it. Ozzo rides the challenge, and Derby emerge with the ball, and Salverson's knocked it forward, and they've got a man over here of Derby. It's Houtmite, deep in the Norwich half. Doyle makes the challenge. It breaks into the penalty area. Gunn doesn't come for it. Ozzo's got there on the left edge of the penalty area for Derby. Sets up Houtmite, level with the Norwich box. His cross charged down by Sienats. Really good play from Sienats. There it goes for a throw in. There's movement on the Norwich bench. We're going to see a change in a moment.
I don't know if it's Jack Stacey from this distance, I'm not sure. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, Chris. But
don't ask me.
Just a warning sign for Norwich in a game. When you've got a team captain, you need to be switched on at the back for that.
Yeah, Houtmite, left-hand side. For Derby on the attack. Lovely reverse pass to Mendez-Laing. Cuts it back from the byline. Nunez perfectly positioned to clear it away. Derby's turn to attack. Poor touch from Clark. Oh, Sargent gets there, runs up towards halfway, gets dragged back by Nat Phillips. Now, he was pretty much the last man, but it's still inside the Norwich half, so I don't think it's going to be a red card, because there was a long way for Sargent to run if he had got away with the ball, but it will be a yellow for Nat Phillips.
Yeah, Langas and Clark are getting round. There's no way that he's going to be the last man in that occasion, but he's taking the one for the team there, Nat Phillips, just getting his body in front of Josh Sargent. I actually thought he was maybe going to knock it round him and keep going, but cynical foul, yellow card, nothing more than that.
Right, here comes this first Norwich change.
Ben Slimani.
Two, and Stacey as well. You do yourself an injustice, Simon. Your eyes are better than you thought.
What a guess.
Kellen Fisher is replaced. I want to talk about all of the new faces on the Norwich bench today, but maybe it's going to be an old favourite, an old reliable Jack Stacey who'll come on and help make the difference. Fisher goes off. Stacey comes on with an hour on the clock, just about. And I think we're going to see Spencer Slimani return. He's been injured since New Year's Day. 0-0, and it will probably be Nunez. I imagine this is one they planned before the game. Yeah, Nunez back. Perhaps a little bit earlier than anticipated. They've been careful with him, and off he goes, and you can understand.
Yeah, Kenny McLean will just drop back in there. And as you see, Kevin Fisher, a brilliant talent, but we spoke about it at half-time, you and I, Chris. I think we knew this was coming, and just the way the game's going, how can Norwich exploit Derby in the wider areas? And you get the perfect substitution there in Jack Stacey. He's speaking to Sienats right away there and saying, I'm imagining he'll tell me to go play narrow, because I'm going to play almost as a winger out here, rather than Fisher playing in as an extra midfielder. They don't really need that today, because they've not really had the ball in the middle of the pitch.
Jerry Yates has come on for Salveson. He's been quite good, Salveson. I mean, Derby haven't attacked all that often, but when they have, he's looked a handful.
Yeah.
He's gone off. Jerry Yates has come on. Yates, a player that Paul Warne had at Rotherham. Scored on his full league debut for Rotherham against Norwich City as a young player. And now he comes on the day after Paul Warne was sacked.
Just looking at Chris, you see where Sienats just taking up his position now, much more narrow, occupying that centre back. It then pins Osborne back almost as a full back in a back five.
Here's Mahovo for Norwich. They've brought Stacey on the right, but they're attacking down the left to start with here. Still 0-0. Patience of virtue at Carrow Road as Norwich try to find a way through against a resolute Derby. Duffy plays it towards the penalty area, cleared away. Here's Mendez-Laing. Good tackle from Mahovo. It's loose inside the Derby half. Slimani back in the team, back on the pitch, and finding Marcondes, who shoots from distance. Always going wide. Ibu Adams was sliding in, but wide it goes. Big goal for Kingston Town. 1-0 up away at Curzon Ashton. Fellow high flyers in National North. That's potentially a really big goal for the Linnets. Adam Lakeland, their manager, against his former club.
Again, Chris, just looking at the setup here, even Dobbin on the far side, he's become a bit more narrow to try and get Mahovo higher up the pitch.
Maybe Norwich feeling that they need more width, but from the fullbacks, in order to try and find a way through. Now McLean picks out Jack Stacey, who's on as a substitute, and this is why. He's on the attack, right-hand side, crossing for Norwich City and crossing deep. Dobbin round the back, heads it down. Marcondes takes a touch but gets tackled. Mahovo picks it up, 25 yards from goal. The attack isn't over yet. But straight away, we can see why Jack Stacey's been brought on. There's a different route forward for Norwich City now, and Duffy picks out Stacey again on the right-hand side. This time he's tightly marked, there's no way forward. Back to Shane Duffy. Every Derby player back behind the ball in their white shirts as Norwich probe in their yellow and green. It's Duffy, 25 yards out. Plays the ball towards the penalty area. Sargent coming in, and the defender Langas has to play it behind. And Norwich have a corner. I mean, this is where Johannes Torek now has options, doesn't he? He's changed things, he's switched it around, and Norwich are giving Derby other things to think about now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Stacey, the first thought he gets in his mind is to put that ball in the box, and Duffy there, almost playing as a deep line midfielder, feeds a great ball from this right-hand side towards the left-hand side of the 6-yard box. And good defending from Derby, just been aware of it. I'm not sure it was coming in at the back post.
Well, Sargent was there, but unable to put it in. Corner for Norwich, only their second of the match. Marcondes to take now with Nunez having gone off. Curling delivery, goalkeeper should get that and does easily. Norwich have had to work hard to win set pieces. You've got to do better with them than that.
Yeah, it's not the best we've seen from Marcondes, straight into the goalkeeper's hands. Nothing more frustrating. I've done it plenty of times myself.
And it must have been a poor corner, not what the plan was, because he hit it towards the far post and everybody went towards the near post, so it was easy.
I don't know if he was touching his hips or his shoulders for the signal for it, but...
Breakdown in communications. 0-0 at Carrow Road. Derby want to make another change. Zetterström, the goalkeeper, one cap for Sweden, is taking a long time to clear the ball upfield. He does now, headed on by Yates, but it's going to go through to Angus Gunn. Rolls it up to Jack Stacey, who's on for Norwich City as a substitute. A right back, but yes, he'll have to do his defensive duties, but you feel he's been brought on as much for what he can do going forward.
Absolutely, but you look at Derby and they'll be delighted to sit in and get away from here with a point. As I said, Norwich have still got a half hour yet to break them down. I said, you think it's going to be from one of the crosses from a wide area, or a little bit of magic for somebody to open up them, because they're so compact and so well drilled in everything they're doing defensively.
Here's Doyle bringing it forward for Norwich City. Hovo available to the left-hand side. Here is the young fullback. He's got Dobbin in front of him. Touch the touchline on the left-hand side. Sargent's come out of the penalty area to get involved. Dobbin trying to find a way forward. Gets tackled, ball runs free. Slimani available to pick it up. Uses it simply and uses it well and keeps Norwich in possession now. Marcondes coming forward. Mahovo on the left-hand side. Gives it to Sargent. He's getting deeper and deeper, but to good effect. He's got the ball, thumps one goalwards, and the goalkeeper parries it straight back to Sargent. This time through towards Sienats, who would have been offside anyway. Didn't make any contact with the ball. I think it was probably a shot from Sargent. He dragged it across goal, and Sienats suddenly thought, I might have a chance here. I don't think he made any contact with the ball, but he would have been offside, so no harm done. But that was Josh Sargent. Really interesting, coming deeper and deeper, getting involved with the game, but somehow the goalkeeper's now injured. Zetterström, not quite sure why.
But just Sargent, I don't know if it's a shot from Sargent, but just coming off the centre-back, great turn, I think it's away from Adams, and he hits it from all of 25 yards, it's straight at the goalkeeper though. I say if you'd expect him to make it, comes back to Sargent, he gets a great first touch and just, as you say, just pulls the shot wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post.
Seeing a little slow to react to it, but he was in an offside position anyway. So the goalkeeper's down. Changes being made by Derby here. Mendes Lang is coming off, and we're going to see a debut here for Harrison Armstrong, an 18-year-old, brought in from Everton at the end of the transfer window. He has already played first-team football for Everton, 6 appearances. Mendes Lang going off. Armstrong will come on. And I think we're going to see another change for Derby as well. Ben Osborne is going off. The left wing back today, Callum Elder, is coming on, and Osborne, the left wing back, he's actually gone forward to good effect. And Callum Elder, the Australian international, to have a loan spell with Ipswich a few years ago, he's on as a substitute.
I'm just thinking, because I've played in sides, both sides of the coin here. Derby are sitting in and been hard to beat, and also Norwich. And when you're the team that's dominate the ball, the shout that you get from the side on the pitch, the experienced players, don't get bored. And what they mean by that is don't get bored of moving the ball quickly side to side. We don't need to score right now. We've got 25-30 minutes yet to go. We'll get an opportunity somewhere.
Zetterström, the goalkeeper, needed treatment. I'm not quite sure why. He's going to be okay. I won't mention dark arts after what Norwich were accused of at Watford last week. But you can hear the Norwich fans are thinking, hang on a minute, there's nothing wrong with you, mate, the goalkeeper. But it'll all be added on, and the last time Simon Lapham was with us was the Coventry game at Carrow Road, where Norwich used all that stoppage time to good effect. So,
what a finish that was, Chris.
It was. Are we going to have something equally as dramatic here? Norwich were behind on that occasion. At least that isn't the case today. 0-0. Sargent doing a good job there against Langas, keeping him honest. But Derby have got it back with Clark here. Vastly experienced defender, left-footed, swoops it forward. In behind Stacey, who's got some defending to do against Elder, who's just come on as a substitute. And, well, surely Elder fouled him there. Apparently not. Yates from the angle shoots, and Gunn makes the save. Did he drag Jack Stacey back there before he cut it back?
Yeah, I think it's maybe just coming together. I don't see Jack Stacey complaining too much about it.
True. Now Marcondes for Norwich City, wide right. Jack Stacey, here he is, on the front foot for Norwich City. Taking the game to Derby. Crossing early, but crossing far too close to the goalkeeper. It's a waste. 3 players are in the penalty area in yellow shirts. And he picked out the man in bright orange, the man who looks like a steward. Jakob Zetterstrom in that bright orange, and he wasn't going to be beaten there.
That used to be my excuse, Chris, when I gave the ball away. When they used to wear yellow jackets, pass the ball to a steward.
No, now Norwich winning the ball high up the pitch with Sienats. Derby will clear though. Here's Clark on the left-hand side. Clears for Derby up towards halfway. Yates shows for it. Duffy takes it straight off him. That wasn't much of a contest. Marcondes to Slimani. Slimani lays it off to Lucien Mahovo. Mahovo quickly up towards Sargent, edge of the box. He tees up Marcondes. Lovely football. Back to Josh Sargent! And there's never any doubt when Josh Sargent gets the ball in that position. He scores. It's Norwich's 50th goal of the season in the Championship. They've scored it in front of the Barclay, and it's a long-awaited breakthrough. Norwich City 1, Derby County 0.
And as you say, Chris, never in doubt it falls to the feet of Sargent. About 12 yards from goal, but the build-up is absolutely brilliant. It's Mahovo just gets that ball into Sargent. Marcondes makes a run-off, and I think Marcondes is going to finish on his left foot. But he's so clever with that little reverse pass. Sargent in the aim of the space, and he rifles it into the top corner. We just talked about that moment of quality in games. There it is, absolutely brilliant for Marcondes as well. Just to feed it back into Sargent, and what an emphatic finish.
Oh, that's the difference that Josh Sargent can make. What's that, 4 in 3 since he returned to the starting lineup? And that was great. And it was just the sort of position he scored in against Swansea. If Norwich can get Sargent with the ball on his right foot, slightly to the right of goal, I mean, that's manna from heaven.
And Chris, I'm not going to harp on about it, but the warm-up, as I said, that was it there. This time it's Mahovo as if he's a deep line midfielder, into the striker, a run off him, making another angle. And what a finish from Sargent. Brilliant goal from Norwich City.
Yeah, half century of goals in the Championship this season for Norwich City. Derby looking to respond immediately. The ball's gone out for a throw-in, but of those 50 league goals, 37 of them on this ground.
Incredible. And it's so pivotal, absolutely vital to the way Norwich City play. And when I was with you guys at Coventry, the Coventry game here, sorry, you said they were having a new player in the building again, and he's back fit, and my word, he's on form.
He took it so well, didn't he? I noticed the first goal he got against Swansea a couple of weeks ago, there was an angle a bit from behind the attack, and you saw that when the ball went to Sargent in the penalty area in that sort of position, Shane Duffy had his arms up. He was celebrating before Sargent put the ball in the net, and I think on that occasion the whole ground was.
But even the goal there, it's a lovely set into the path of Marcondes as he makes that run across him. But he's thinking, we're not done here, I'm going to make another angle because I know he's clever enough to find me. And he touch, finish. What a brilliant goal.
Big moment for Norwich City, who could be in the top 6 of the Championship this evening. And now they've got Dobbin in, causing problems on the left-hand side. Level with the penalty area. Has help from Marcondes, who's just been involved in 1 goal. And now Mahovo. Norwich keeping at it, playing the ball back towards the halfway line with Derby continuing to work hard defensively. Here's Slimani on as a substitute. Jack Stacey as well, back towards Duffy on halfway. Here's Doyle in the centre circle. Interesting to see how this game changes, because Derby can't sit back, or they're going to lose for the 8th league game in a row. Norwich fans in good voice. On the ball, City ringing out around Carrow Road as Norwich's player of the month for January. Emi Marcondes picks the ball up. An assist for him a moment ago. Perfect pass to Sargent. Lovely interchange. Beautiful finish from Sargent. But you knew he wasn't going to miss.
No, just a brilliant finish. It's so well worked. And Norwich just enjoying having possession now, trying to draw Derby out. As you say, Chris, they're not going to go gung-ho, but they can't just sit in now. They have to try and get something from the game. And this is where Norwich, where they move the ball really quickly, they're more than capable of picking them off.
Doyle wide to the left-hand side, and Lewis Dobbin. Played over 50 games for Derby a couple of seasons ago on loan. McLean quickly onto Marcondes, who's got a lovely habit of finding room. And this time, with that room, he's picked out Dobbin on the left-hand side. Back to Marcondes, and now Mahovo on the left wing. Lewis Dobbin in front of him. Marcondes, corner of the penalty, lays it off to Sargent. Back to Marcondes. They're linking up brilliantly, but this time Marcondes' through ball is cut out. McLean for Norwich. 2 Derby players straight onto him, so he's moved it to the left wing, and Mahovo. Norwich knocking the ball around nicely now with this 1-goal lead to protect. Marcondes picks out Stacey on the right-hand side. So they just have to wait for the ball to arrive, so take it in his stride as he likes to do. because of that, there's no momentum in it, and Norwich have moved back towards the halfway line with the 19-year-old Mahovo, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Angus Gunn. 18 minutes to go. BBC Radio Norfolk, Norwich City 1, Derby County 0. Canary recall coming up with Simon Lacken and Rob Butler at full time. Thought it might be one of the new signings who might make a name for themselves today, but Josh Sargent. There are some things that don't change in the Championship.
I'm just looking at it now, and this is where, if you're Derby County, it can become demoralising. You know, you're working so hard. Norwich having the ball, when they get into the final third, you try to create something, you think you've cleared it, it's straight back at Norwich, and they're coming at you again.
Oh, clever from Sargent, picks up Doyle's pass, just lays it off to Slimani, but Slimani was closed down and lost the ball. Ibu Adams closed down himself by Marcondes, who's penalised. Adams is down. Free kick to Derby inside their own half. Josh Sargent's record in the Championship, this is 83rd appearance, 37 goals at this level. And it's a great record when you consider as well that of those 83 games, a lot of them he's not been completely fit. He's come off the bench in a few of them. He's almost played second fiddle to Timu Pukki in some of them, and he's had his minutes managed for quite a lot of them as well.
And out of position when he arrived at the club, not playing through the middle, and I think he knew that he had to accept that he was second choice striker when they're playing one up top behind Timu Pukki. But he's certainly done his utmost to fill the void that he left.
Long kick from the goalkeeper Zetterstrom, cut out by Duffy. Ozzo with the header for Derby. Last touch from Slimani to Sargent. Now Sargent can get the ball out of his feet. Dobbins away on the left-hand side here. Sargent does spin it out towards the left wing. Dobbins there. He's going to test Thompson, the defender, here, and Thompson does really well. Stays with Dobbin, gets the foot in and wins it. Derby, Langas, the recent signing, the defender, gives it back to Thompson. They've not got out of their right-back position here yet, Derby. Dobbins closing them down, making it difficult, but they do now move the ball nicely, and they might turn Norwich round here. Ibu Adams coming through the midfield, plays it towards the left-hand side. Quickly forward from Elder towards Houtmine. Elder's continued his run, he's in behind the Norwich defence, but Gunn, watchful, off his line, picks the ball up, and in no time at all, in one movement, throws it to Jack Stacey to try and set Norwich off on the attack. Leading 1-0 Norwich City. Josh Sargent again, 4 goals in 3 games since he returned to the starting lineup. More movement over on that Norwich bench.
Really good from Angus Gunn. He's not been involved in the game for a long spell now, but just a great starting position. So Derby on a couple of occasions have done that really well, worked it from one side to the other. Norwich maybe not getting their press quite right.
Change coming for Norwich City. It's with Duffy on halfway though at the moment. Duffy waiting. Every Derby player back behind the ball. Gives it to Emi Marcondes. Marcondes now brings it in field and gives it to Doyle in the centre circle. The defender picks out Slimani. Now Sargent again coming deep. The goal scorer in this game, carrying it forward well. He's got support on the left-hand side from both Dobbin and Mahovo. They link up well. Sargent just stretching. Couldn't bring that ball under control. And Derby have got it back with Langas. His own penalty area. Gives it to David Ozzo. And that's poor from Derby. Put straight out of play for throw-in. Norwich change coming up. What's going to happen now?
You might be seeing that. I think I saw a flash of 17 on the board.
Let's have a look. Well, actually, there's a Derby change first of all. David Ozzo, really impressive in the first half, but still making his way back from injury. He is going to be replaced here by Caden Jackson, former Ipswich Town player. Had 6 years at Ipswich, 199 appearances. Part of their team was promoted last season. And Houtmine is replaced by Marcus Harness, who is on loan from Ipswich. So that's added a bit of spice to proceedings.
I'm sure if there's Oscar Schwartau is coming on.
Looks like it is, yeah. And he will replace Ante Siemens. You're right. So that suggests, I mean, there are other changes available to Johannes Torok, but we would think that Siemens would be the player who would go up front if Sargent came off. So maybe they're getting more and more confident in Sargent's fitness here.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll want to get 90 minutes under his belt as well, with as many as he can, coming back from a bit of a layoff and just continue to build up his fitness and getting the 90 minutes in his legs. And plus, you know, strikers will be hungry for more goals, Chris.
I'm sure Schwartau will go to the right-hand side. But again, that's a show of confidence in him, isn't it? Because there are new signings here. There's Jurasek, the Czech, involved for the first time. Johannes Torok is thinking, you know, I'm going to show a bit of faith in the 18-year-old who's done well for me this season and send him on first.
Yeah, he was in the starting lineup last week and found himself on the bench after a victory, so he might feel slightly hard done by with that.
Sheffield United 2-1 up against Portsmouth. It's a championship game today. We've got FA Cup, we've got Championship. What's going on? Kings Lynn 1-0 up at Curzon Ashton as well in National North last we heard. 13 minutes to go at Carrow Road. Norwich City 1, Derby County 0. Goal being scored by Josh Sargent for Norwich City. And now Norwich thought they had a throw in, but in fact there's an offside decision has gone against them, so it will be a free kick to Derby. Zetterstrom, the goalkeeper, comes out to take it.
You can see Matt Clark going up here, so Norwich need to be aware. This is where they have to be switched on. Derby had nothing other than the first minute of the half when they had an attacking threat.
Those two players who've come on, I know they're both Ipswich Town links, but they're also both attackers, aren't they? Jackson and Harness. So that shows that Bradley Johnson and Matt Hamshaw and co have decided that they can't sit on this now, 1-0 down. Zetterstrom with the long free kick, the goalkeeper. Duffy heads that one away, takes a knock in the process. Derby, they've got it to Harness, central position, 20 yards out, gets a shot in, and takes a deflection, and that takes the sting out of it, and it goes through to Gunn. It'll be important to Angus Gunn to keep a clean sheet, because Norwich have only had one home clean sheet this season. That was against Hull, and in that game, Gunn played the first half, and George Long played the second because of Gunn's injury. So they've not had a clean sheet with one goalkeeper at home this season.
Did you find out if they split the clean sheet bonus that day?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't actually. Well, maybe if we get the chance to speak to him, we will. But let's hope there is another one on the line today, because that will mean Norwich will win the game. But 12 minutes to go, they're 1-0 up. Marcondes bringing it forward. Jack Stacey in front of him on that right wing. Holland's a sub, full of running. Low cross into the box, cut out by Clark. And Norwich will have to settle for a throw in. That's the thing. Derby they will give this more of a go now, they've got to.
Yeah.
But that may well give Norwich City opportunities.
Yeah, of course it will. They have to. They've stayed in the game, as they would look to try and do after conceding. Stay in the game as long as you can. We don't have to go gung-ho. They're bringing on more of an attacking threat now, because they have to try and get something out of the game. But as you said, it opens them up a bit more, and Norwich can hopefully exploit that.
From this to Slimani. Doyle coming forward for Norwich City. Mahovo has played well today. Crosses from the left-hand side. Fartel was in there. Clark, though, heads it away. Derby get there first. Yates on halfway can't hold it up, and it's back with Lucien Mahovo. Forward comes the young fullback for Norwich City. He's got Dobbin available to his left-hand side. Here is Lewis Dobbin. It'll be fascinating on Tuesday when Borja Sainz is available, the Championship's top scorer after suspension. You imagine he'll be back in the team.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a layoff as well, though.
Yeah.
Not playing in such a long time, and it's difficult to replicate it in training. But given that goal return and the form he's been in this season, I would imagine he'll go straight back in.
But again, one of this squad for Norwich today will miss out on Tuesday night, which is...
It's a nice headache for the manager to have, isn't it?
It's a very different one to what he's had for most of the season. Norwich moving the ball forward carefully now with Slimani, leading 1-0. Here's Kenny McLean, back again to Slimani. We'll have that game for you against Preston, live on BBC Radio Norfolk on Tuesday. Scrimmage, Monday night from 6 o'clock as well. Plenty to keep you entertained when it comes to Norwich City. And they're 1-0 up, perhaps heading for the top 6 in the Championship today. Here's Dobbin on the left-hand side, giving the defender Thompson something to think about. Dobbin's level with the penalty area. Just seen away from the box there well by Thompson, but Norwich still have possession. Trying to work the angle here for Marcondes to get forward on the left-hand side. He gets tackled, and the ball goes away for a throw-in to Norwich City. Young Armstrong, the substitute, he got his foot to the ball. So Norwich throw level. Penalty area off Derby.
I think if the scoreline had been different, we'd maybe have seen a few more substitutions, but when it's that precarious 1-0, it's not just making substitutions for the sake of it.
Yeah, Norwich have got one more window left, because although you can make 5 changes, you've only got 3 opportunities during the game in which to do it. And Norwich have used 2 of those windows already, with the 3 subs they've put on. Derby have made all their changes. They've got 10 minutes to try and salvage something from this game. Norwich have passed the ball back to Gunn. And now here's Shane Duffy for the Canaries. Duffy back to Angus Gunn. Norwich know if they can just manage this one through and get a second straight clean sheet, they'll win the game. I think we might see a bit of a new face in a moment, because just looking over on the far side while Norwich are playing the ball around their defence, substitutes getting stripped. Gunn decides to go long because Derby have tried to press him up towards Schwartau, but it was just too far in front of him. And Langas gets there for Derby. Clark hits it back to goalkeeper Zetterstrom, who takes a touch and then with his right foot clears it towards the right-hand side. Up towards the halfway line it goes. Doyle sees it out of play for a throw-in. So I think we are going to see those last 2 changes from Norwich City. These last few moments. Coming up with Simon Lappin and Rob Butler. We'll talk about Norwich City just doing things, I won't say the hard way, because they've been made to work hard today, haven't they? But they've stuck to their task really well against a resolute Derby. McLean on halfway up towards Sargent. McLean now gives it to Dobbin. He just couldn't take it in his stride on the left-hand side, and McLean jumps up and down on the spot in frustration because he knows that was very nearly the perfect pass.
really well worked, lovely one-touch football into Sargent, set back to him and can't quite free up Dobbin to get away down that left-hand side.
I think one of the players that's coming on is Ben Cresceni, so I wonder whether Lucien Mahovo might get a break for the youngster. We'll see in a moment.
Another thing as well, Chris, like you've said before, you've got a full quota and your full squad to pick from, clean bill of health. You've got to keep people happy and get the minutes on the pitch, and Cresceni will be in that category with Mahovo performing so well.
Mahovo, heavy touch there, but it's a difficult ball back for him to deal with, and Derby have possession inside the Norwich half. And moving it nicely onto the right-hand side with Ibu Adams. It's a Langas now, Norwegian signing. But Norwich are well set now, and Derby have aimed it back into their own half. And here's Clark on halfway. Norwich City 1-0 up against Derby County. Game not over yet. Here's Clark on halfway for Derby. On to Callum Elder, one of Derby's substitutes. 5 of them on the pitch at the moment. He's coming infield from the left-hand side. Gives it to Ibu Adams. Adams in the centre circle. Curling past Elder on this left-hand side. Clark's gone outside him. So the ball goes to the teenager Armstrong. His Derby debut. Back towards Ibu Adams on halfway. And now it's Norwich's turn to drop off, and every yellow shirt behind the ball. Will Derby take a bit of encouragement from that? 7 minutes to go. Norwich lead 1-0. Mahovo cuts out that attempted through ball. It comes back off Caden Jackson though, and Derby have got it back. Norwich fans felt it was handball by the former Ipswich man. Not given. And here's Armstrong for Derby. And the soft turret just getting animated on the side of the pitch. Marcus Harness tackled well by Slimani. Slimani goes back to Angus Gunn. He's being closed down. So has to pass it out carefully to Jack Stacey here. Stacey's being closed down. Launches it away from the right back position and out of play for a throw in. Norwich really got themselves boxed in there, didn't they?
They certainly did. And sometimes
Mahovo off, Cresceni on. Sorry,
straight fault, Chris. Yeah, and sometimes Stacey plays that ball back to Angus Gunn. You're thinking, just put your foot through it. They get the throw in. And another great performance by Mahovo.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? And Mark Congress is being replaced by one of the new signings. We're going to see Jacob Wright, the 19-year-old, who's made 3 first-team appearances for Manchester City. He once came on as a substitute for Erling Haaland in the Champions League. Today he's coming on for Emi Marcondes in the Championship for Norwich City.
Just looking at the manager's substitution there, the intent of just maybe showing us up 1-0 and make sure we're not too open. As you said, Derby are going to have to go for it. I'm expecting there will be a lot of diagonal balls and balls directly towards Angus Gunn's box in this last 5 minutes or so. It's important you've got a solid midfield base in front of anything that drops down.
So the new Czech winger, Jurasek, will not get on today. He's on the bench, kept on the lead. I'm sure had Norwich not got the breakthrough, he would have come on. But we'll see him another day, perhaps against Preston on Tuesday. Norwich have a throw.
We spoke about that, Chris, the fact you can change half your outfield, and it's different times, it's different players for however the game's going. If you're winning it comfortably, it's easy to make attacking substitutions. You need that goal, but you maybe want to show the game up. You want another midfielder on the pitch, another defender.
Jacob Wright is on. Slim central midfielder, just had his first touch of the ball, knocking it back to Duffy. He's got a wristband on his left wrist, made himself available there for a short pass from Gunn. And instead the City keeper has gone long. That's what he might really. 4.5 minutes to go, Norwich are 1 up. Probably in their interest to keep it as far away from their goal as possible now, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is where they really have to be switched on here, as I said. Anytime Derby get the ball in that defensive third, I'm pretty sure the ball is going in one place.
Well, Wright involved there. He's helped Norwich win the ball inside Derby territory, and McLean has got it to Lewis Dobbin. He dribbles it forward here up against Langas. Cresceni on as a substitute at left back is outside him. It's gone to Slimani. Back again to Slimani, who gives it away infield to Ibu Adams. And now Norwich have got to make sure they're not caught out on the counter-attack here. It's a really poor pass forward from Armstrong, cut out by Duffy. Norwich have got it back, but then they've given it straight to Derby, but there's Cresceni winning it. So we're getting a little bit less controlled than Johannes Torp would like. Norwich have got control of the ball now. Here's Wright, signing from Manchester City this week. White boots, plays the ball back to Shane Duffy. 3.5 minutes to go, 1-0. No alarms there, but it looked a couple of times like there might be.
Yeah, but even you're saying about Wright coming on, it's important, albeit you're at Man City, you should be able to take that. But just getting that first pass, making your debut for your new club, getting a touch of the ball, simple pass away, just settle into the game.
Gunn floats it forward, picked up by Derby, and the tall Armstrong in the centre of the park. One of their deadline day signings, on loan from Everton. Ended up with Clark on this left-hand side for Derby, still inside his own half. Schwartel just makes sure that there's no way forward for him. It'll be Langas instead who will play it through the middle to Ibu Adams. Adams out towards the right-hand side. Here comes Thompson, the right wing back on the attack for Derby. Derby, of course, they've got to throw men forward now because they're 1-0 down. 3 minutes to go. Norwich were well set defensively though, so Derby have moved it back to Nat Phillips on halfway. Now Clark on the left-hand side. Phillips again. From Liverpool inside the Derby half. Norwich are just trying to keep a good shape here and be difficult to break down. Ibu Adams has picked up the ball for Derby County inside the Norwich half. Puts his foot on it, looks for an option. Norwich are well set. Adams tries an ambitious pass towards this left-hand side. Picks out Callum Elder, who finds Marcus Harness. Harness, who's on loan from Ipswich, knocks it into the Norwich penalty area. Duffy across the deal with Caden Jackson. Really good defending. You can see Jackson didn't really fancy that with Duffy coming towards him. Behind it goes for a goal kick. I wouldn't fancy it either.
No, he certainly didn't. And really good shape from Norwich. Good from Duffy there, just marshalling the ball out for a goal kick. But really good from Norwich, just keeping the ball in front, not letting anything go in between. I'm surprised Derby haven't tried to play it. I know they don't have that real physical presence up top, but they've not tried to play a ball in behind or drop one on a diagonal pass. They're looking to try and open Norwich up at this stage in the game.
We're in the 89th minute. Norwich have a 1-0 lead given to them by Josh Sargent. Gave him a few chances, but Sargent is an excellent marksman in the Championship and has taken the chance that has fallen his way. Stacey gets a good foot in, and Marcus Harness, the Derby attacker, has to play it back to goalkeeper Zetterstrom. Sargent closing him down. Zetterstrom launches the ball out towards the Derby right, helped on beyond Cresceni. Doyle is there to tangle with Jerry Yates, does well. Derby throw in from right in front of Johannes Softorp. Yates takes it quickly. Gets it down towards Langas here. Have Derby got anything to throw at Norwich City and make these last couple of minutes interesting? 1-0 to Norwich at the moment. Comes to Clark on halfway. Clark to Elder. Elder on towards Harness, who's making a run in behind Wright, the substitute. Harness gets there by the byline on the left-hand side for Derby. Wright trying to stand him up. Harness heads for the byline once more, cuts it back, it hits Jack Stacey. Oh, Stacey tries to clear it. He's caught Harness, and the penalty's been given to Derby County in the 90th minute. What a blow this could be for Norwich City. The ball bounced up, Stacey went to clear it. It was definitely a high boot. He's made contact with Marcus Harness. Derby have a penalty, and there aren't many complaints on the pitch from the Norwich City players. They've given Derby a penalty right at the end.
No complaints whatsoever. And you think they've got the situation under control. It's right. It's holding Harness up. Takes it towards the byline. He's looking to cut it back, and Stacey at that point gets back in. It's a little deflection. It comes up off Stacey, I think, as Harness tries to cut it back. Stacey's got his eye on the ball, but Harness, as soon as he puts his head in there, as soon as you put your foot that height in the penalty or anywhere in the pitch, you're at risk of giving a foul away. And Derby will be absolutely delighted. As I said, they stayed in the game at 1-0. They didn't go gung-ho. They've been looking for an opening like this. They've got maybe a bit of good fortune as the ball ricochets, but if this ends up the back of net, what a blow from Norwich.
Well, one goal is just never enough, is it? 4 minutes of stoppage time. You can almost forget about that because as the 4 minutes are signalled, Marcus Harness is still being treated because I think he's got a cut to the head where Stacey caught him. And yeah, it was one of those where even as the penalty was given, there weren't many complaints from the players. There weren't many complaints from the Norwich crowd either. They know Jack Stacey's been caught out there, and we have a penalty to Derby County right at the end of this game, and an opportunity for them to try and steal a point at Carrow Road. Angus Gunn is going to be the man who could be the Norwich City hero here.
I don't know if Josh Sargent just ran over to the dugout to ask anything about any penalty takers, because he'd be straight over to Angus Gunn to give him a pointer or a bit of advice or something.
Well, it is going to be Jerry Yates, who was under Paul Warne at Rotherham, taken to Derby by Paul Warne, and now the day after Paul Warne lost his job, he's got a chance. There are fans at the River End waving scarves and balloons and all sorts to try and put Jerry Yates off. Huge moment. Stoppage time penalty for Derby, who are 1-0 down at Carrow Road. Yates up to the ball, and he sends Gunn the wrong way. And Derby have snatched a stoppage time equaliser at Carrow Road. All that hard work for Norwich City, but one goal is never enough. Jerry Yates converts the penalty, and it is Norwich City 1, Derby County 1.
And as you say, Chris, that one goal lead's just never enough. Derby County stayed in the game. As I said, they didn't come out of that shape and leave massive gaps. Norwich haven't finished them off. And that one lapse of concentration, that bit of good fortune for Harness and Stacey. As soon as you put your foot that high, you're always at risk of giving something away. And Derby, and it's well stuck away. What you say, they got sending Angus Gunn the wrong way. So disappointing for Norwich. All that hard work, as you say, you've just not done enough to kill Derby County off.
A good pressure penalty there from Jerry Yates. And still the one clean sheet at home for Norwich in the league this season. Right, they've got a couple of minutes left, Norwich City. Carrow Road finds its voice. Are we going to get more late drama? Jacob Wright plays one forward. Stacey trying to make amends, has put it in the Derby box. Headed away, throw in. The stewards have all appeared in front of the Derby fans away to our right. They are jubilant. They thought they were looking at an 8th straight defeat in the league, but maybe they're going to get a draw. 1-1. Norwich right at the end with Doyle. Puts the ball towards the Derby box, headed away. Doyle again, just over eager there, gives away a free kick. And you can really feel the frustration. This is one that may well get away from Norwich City today.
Yeah, just a really frustrated figure there in Callum Doyle. You can see it straight through the back of him, and he picks up a yellow card for it.
And that could be crucial as well, because that's his 9th booking of the season, Callum Doyle. One more before one more booking in the next 6 games, and he'll get a 2-match ban. Oh, Derby have a free kick. I think that will be so frustrating for Yanisov Torok, because yes, it was only 1-0, but you can't say Derby really looked like scoring.
No, absolutely not. And that's the thing, they were so comfortable, Norwich, and as you said, Derby never created anything. It was the one time they got into a sort of dangerous area of the pitch and Harness, but he's still 2v1, he gets that ricochet. I don't know if Stacey could maybe get his body between Harness and the ball rather than actually going for it with his foot.
Just a snap decision, wasn't it, to try and get something on it.
Split-second thing, and we've all done it. We've all done it. Just it's been so costly at this moment in time for Norwich City.
And a long free kick from the goalkeeper Zetterstrom, headed away by Norwich City. It'll fall to Schwartau, still inside his own half. He'll sweep it forward. Blocked by Clark and out of play for a throw-in. Well, 4 minutes of stoppage time was signalled, but that was before the penalty was taken. So if the referee, Ruben Ricardo, is true to what he should be here, there should be at least another minute. We're in the 5th minute of stoppage time. 1-1. Norwich have it with Doyle over the halfway line, left foot long towards the Derby penalty area. Schwartau is up, won't get on the end of it though. It was a ball that was too easily defended. And now Callum Elder will bring it away on the left-hand side for Derby. He's full of running. He's only got one player up in front of him, that's Yates, but Elder is doing a really good job for Derby here. He finds Yates, who's going to be flagged offside, and that'll be a free kick to Norwich. Have they got one more chance to move the ball forward?
You would think so, Chris, as you said, the injury time, obviously the injury to Harness in injury time. This is it. Right,
Norwich have got perhaps one more opportunity to lay siege towards that Barclay end of Carrow Road. Doyle picks out Dobbin on the left-hand side. Dobbin stops the ball, gets away from his man, floats it in early towards the penalty area, headed away by Nat Phillips. Here's Harness for Derby. He clears it away, and now Derby are going to scamper forwards here. Ibu Adams has got so much space on the left-hand side. Norwich could have a problem right at the end here. Here comes Adams, up towards the left edge of the penalty area. Plays it across, blocked by Sargent, and now Derby have a corner. Well, we've seen Norwich City in a recent home game win it in stoppage time. Now Derby have got a chance to do that to Norwich City here, because they've got a corner.
It's incredible, Chris. No pressure whatsoever. Angus Gunn has nothing to do other than pick the ball out of the net from the penalty. Brilliant, you've got to say, from Ibu Adams at this stage in the game, that driving on. He's been excellent for Derby today in there. Sargent doing his job defensively.
And now Yanisov Torok wants the final whistle. Now he's wondering why there's extra stoppage time. Well, 30 seconds ago, Norwich wanted as much time as possible, because they thought they could still win it. But they're hanging on now, 1-1.
They've got a job to do here, and it's the old adage, if you can't win the game, make sure you don't lose it.
Norwich have got to defend this set piece. Derby corner, left-hand side, played in towards the far post. Oh, it's still in the box here. Norwich haven't dealt with it. Oh, great block from Ben Cresceni. And it's cleared. But for how long? Referee can't allow much longer in this game. Derby hit a high ball forward, out of play, throw in. Is that going to be the end of the game? We've had 96 minutes now. No, referee's letting the play go on. Norwich might still get another chance. Now Yanisov Torok's quite happy for play to continue. Hit long by Doyle. It bounces in behind the Derby defence. Slimani gives chase desperately. He gets there by the corner flag on the left-hand side for Norwich City. Turns one way, then the other. Crosses, it goes behind. It's a poor cross. And that probably will be the end of the game. And what frustration for Norwich City there. It felt like there could be a winner either end of the pitch there, didn't it?
And the long ball from Doyle. Slimani does so well. He gets half a yard. And I think he's hit it from one foot to the other and it's sliced out for a goal kick. Now he gets that half-yard, a brilliant opportunity. You think, can you get the ball in the box to create one final opportunity? But I think when this goal kick's taken, that'll be it, Chris.
Norwich had an opportunity to climb into the top 6 of the Championship today. They've not taken it. And that's really, really frustrating against managerless Derby County, who have snatched a point at Carrow Road with a stoppage time penalty from Jerry Yates. No complaints about it from Norwich City. They know it was a penalty. Jack Stacey at fault, but Derby defended so well for long periods in that game. Norwich worked hard. They got themselves in front. They forced themselves in front through Josh Sargent. An angled finish midway through the second half. After that, really, there wasn't much sign of a goal at either end of the pitch, but one goal, you're never safe, are you? And that late twist, Stacey with a high boot on Marcus Harness, penalty given, converted emphatically by Jerry Yates, 1-1, and having got through so much hard work to get the lead in that game, to let it slip in stoppage time, that will hurt, won't it?